What's going on? Tonight we doing my testimony. Tonight we doing my testimony, y'all, cause a lot of y'all came to my channel. I thank God for bringing y'all to the channel. That's definitely a blessing. I thank God for that. Thank God for y'all being here. What's up, Bree Bree? Bree Bree, the homie, man. But I asked y'all, did y'all want me to do a what? A get to know me live, or a testimony live. The reason why I kind of wanted to do this testimony is because when I go live on TikTok, anywhere else I'm talking to people, they just consistently ask me, how did you come to Christ? How did you come to Christ? So I was like, I got testimonies on YouTube, but I don't got like the full blown testimony. And the last time I did a testimony on TikTok, it took me like 2-3 hours to do it. I was like, all right, YouTube, it records it and saves the live and keep it on here. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it on here and it'll just stay. So anytime somebody asks me, they could just go to it and everything. But anyway, y'all, what's going on, man? I'm excited that y'all on my channel, man. If y'all don't know, man, it's been a long time coming, man. But since y'all don't want to do a get to know me to ask you those certain questions and all that, we just gonna talk about my testimony today. And just to let y'all know, I got notes. I got like 4 pages. Valerie, I did the notes because stuff started popping up in my head, and I was like, I gotta do this, man, because I'm gonna forget a lot. So y'all ready for my testimony? Do y'all want to hear my testimony? It's gonna be kind of long. It's gonna be kind of long. Y'all gonna be able to wait it out? Let me know. Let me know. Y'all gonna be able to wait it out? It's always amazing to see. Hold up. Hey, I'm trying to learn how to use this. It's always amazing to see how God meets people in their walk. Excited there. I appreciate that, Ruth. Wow, I love StreamYard, yo. You can't do this on TikTok. Y'all ready, man? You ready? I appreciate that, actually. We're here for it. All right. Because this could last like 3 hours, all right? Just so that y'all know. I'm going to start from the beginning. And, if this could help somebody, then y'all could share it and all that. But, so my testimony, how I came to God, how God saved my life. It's a lot. It's a lot. So I'm gonna go over the full testimony along with the abstinence journey, which is a part of the testimony. What's up, yo? What's up? What's Chewy? Is that your name? Am I saying your name right? I apologize, my man. If I'm not saying it correctly, I apologize. Michelle, yes. Start the year out with encouragement somebody needs. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna start, y'all. My testimony. So I'm gonna start from the beginning, just to let y'all know. I'm starting from when I was born, because I can't just say how I was saved without y'all seeing my life. Then y'all can add it up. It'll make more sense. So I gotta start from the beginning, right? So my testimony. Um, so when I was born, if y'all haven't watched it or watched my first testimony, which I didn't complete, and there I basically told y'all, when I was born in Brooklyn, Flatbush, Brooklyn, New York. If anybody know where that is, they know about Flatbush and all of that. So where I was born is real bad. Yo, that's my brother. My brother will tell you where I was born at. That's my real brother right there. He could tell you it like how Brooklyn Flatbush was. Mike, you don't even know my full testimony though, so it'd be good if you listen too, because you ain't hear everything when I moved to Virginia. So my brother, he from Queens though. That's my real brother right there. But so you know, uh, I'm talking about Mike. I'm telling him how I changed and all that. So and how everything started and how it went to me changing and all that. But but anyway, if y'all know I'm from if y'all know about Flatbush, then Flatbush was bad. Flatbush was bad, like real hood, right? Like people getting killed on the block. people getting robbed, people stealing. We had the dudes on the corner, they sold drugs. It was like gangsters, but it was back then. It wasn't like gangs. It was like blocks. So it was like, the dudes that was like, I guess the gangsters on the block or whatever. And people used to get killed on the block, all that. We had bars on our windows. So just so that y'all can get a picture of how I was born. For me though, when I was born into that type of environment. I had family in New York, and they was like that too, right? So everybody was in the street. My cousins, my family was in the street, right? Um, my dad kind of lived that lifestyle as well. And when I was born, he was in jail, from what I remember. He was in prison when I was born, and then I think at like 4 or 5, something like that, he got out of prison, right? And when he got out of prison, um, I could say when he got out of prison, I kind of felt a little bit of love from him and all that. And I guess as a kid, I did. And I didn't really feel that much love from my mom. And what else? I'm trying to remember, y'all. Hold up. I got my notes right here. Well, also when we was kids, Mike, I know you remember this, the guns under the bed. You remember the guns under the bed, Mike? It used to be guns. I used to see guns a lot. You know what I'm saying? With my family, with my dad and my family and all that. So I'm literally telling y'all this so that y'all can get a picture, right? So um what else? Um okay, so around I guess what, 8, 9 years old, my dad left. My dad ended up leaving me. And where I lived and things that was happening. Yeah, the guns. I remember the guns. Y'all playing with the gun. I never played with the guns though. Y'all was the one playing with the gun, right? I didn't play with the gun, but they did have guns everywhere, and so I'm in that environment or whatever. I'm going to school. I started skipping school when I went to PS 181. Mike, I was skipping school and all of that, and I started getting in trouble. And Chris lived up the block. Yeah, Chris lived up the block from me though, and you know that Chris lived like 1 block away from me. I lived on 32nd. I think Chris lived on 34th, something like that. Um, but Chris was about to be in the street heavy, right? And me, I was starting to go that way, getting in trouble. Getting my mother made me go to a private school and all of that because I started getting in trouble in my PS 181. My dad left, and then I got sent to Virginia. The reason I got sent to Virginia is because of where I lived at, because my dad left, um, and I was acting up. My mother didn't want me to be in the streets, obviously. My family had been in the street. My dad was in the street. So I think she was afraid. Plus, I didn't have a father figure except for my uncle who was there. But I wasn't with my uncle all the time. So my mother ended up sending me to Virginia, y'all. And um, when I got sent to Virginia, that's where I had to live with my grandparents, my grandma and my grandfather. And that's actually where I got introduced to church at, actually. Now, I had been in church from when I look in the pictures from the past when I was in New York when I was young, but but I don't remember going to church then. I do remember going to church when I got to Virginia, and I remember uh, how I was acting. Like I was sagging my pants. I was acting, like where I was from. I was getting in fights when I came to Virginia. I was getting in fights. We used to fight in the bathroom all the time. We would fight outside, like, and then not to mention though, keep doing it. All right, bro, and congrats, man. I sent you a message too. I told you congrats in the message, man. You ain't see it though. I sent it on Instagram. And I ain't text you, but congrats, bro. Make sure you let me know when the wedding gonna be, man. I hope it ain't no what is it? What is it? I forgot. What's it called? when the wedding's not in this country. All right, man. Later, bro. Love you. Um, so as y'all can see, my brother just confirmed it, right? That's my real brother, yo. But so I come to Virginia, and I'm introduced to church. I'm around my grandma. I'm around my grandfather, and I go to church. My grandma making me go to church and all of that. Yeah, destination. Of course, it's a destination. But my grandparents making me go to church, so they making me have to dress up now. I'm going to church. They talking about some. I have to. I had to. What is it? Well, I can't think of it right now. But when you help the people walk down to their seats, well, I can't think of it. It's on the tip of my tongue. But I had to do that. I also had to speak sometimes and say the remarks and all of that. I used to have to go to Sunday school. But the thing is, y'all, I never paid attention in church. Like I was an usher. That's it. I was an usher. But I was bad in church. When I tell you I was bad in church, y'all, I was trying to mess with girls in church back then. I ain't gonna lie. I was trying to mess with the girls in the church. I'm gonna keep it real. But I was young, I was mad young during this time. So this basically when I got introduced to church, I didn't care about church, y'all. I didn't think about church. I can't even remember anything I learned. Remember, I was young. But now here's the other thing. My family in Virginia was just like my family in the environment in New York. So I get to Virginia, it's a bunch of drug dealers, thugs. Like my whole family is like street from New York to Virginia. Everybody the same way. You know what I'm saying? So it's like just imagine the environment I was basically raised in from New York to Virginia. So the reason why I say that is because of the statistic. The statistic on my life. When you look at my life, I was born in Brooklyn, New York. I was in the hood. I was around people. I was around the environment, people getting killed, getting shot, getting robbed, getting, stealing, selling drugs on the corner, kind of Virginia, around drug dealers, around thugs. You know what I'm saying? So the statistic on my life was that either going to jail or you gonna die. You know what I'm saying? When you look at that, that's what they say our life gonna be like when your life is set out like that, right? So I'm in Virginia. I'm also playing basketball, y'all. Let me look at my notes real quick. Let me make sure I'm on point. Okay, I'm in Virginia, right? I'm also playing basketball. Not to mention, my mother is not in Virginia, right? So I want y'all to add all of this up into the testimony. That's the reason why I'm starting from the beginning. Add all of this up. My dad left. I get sent to Virginia. My mother is not with me. Right there, that's neglect. Right, right there, you can hear abandonment. Right. Obviously, I didn't know. I didn't know this at the time, but um, yeah. So I'm playing basketball. I'm around my family. I'm around the thugs. I'm around the drug dealers while I'm down there in Virginia. I didn't really know much. Even though I'm seeing this stuff, I don't know at the time that, you know what I mean? I don't know. I ain't even in junior high yet. So I'm seeing all of this stuff. I'm becoming like this. You get what I'm saying? I'm actually starting to become like this because you become like what your environment is, right? You're a product of your environment. So you start to grow up like that. You grow and become like what you're around, right? So me, I'm acting ways, I'm doing things, but I'm also playing basketball. Uh, okay, I'm trying to stay on track, y'all, so I don't get backtracked and gotta go all the way back. So I'm in VA and all of that. All of this is happening. So now I'm in middle school. I'm in middle school, right? I'm in middle school. This is when everything started changing in my life. When I get to middle school, my mother in Virginia now. My mother's in Virginia now, but I'm not always around my mom like that. And I'm playing basketball. I'm on the basketball team actually, because I was playing basketball before I moved from New York to Virginia, y'all. That's something that I actually love to do. Like I loved basketball to the max. Um, so I'm playing basketball now in seventh grade. Starting to like girls. I'm around the thugs. All my friends is like basketball players and thugs. Literally. Like my main man was a Crip. My main man was Crip. And my other man, he was like a super thug. That's how he just acted, right? Like a straight gangster. But he was very smart though. Extremely smart. So these are the people I'm around. I get on the basketball team, y'all. I'm on the basketball team. I make the basketball team because I've been playing basketball since I was way smaller, on basketball leagues since I was younger. Went to basketball camps. Um, Always playing basketball every day. Every day. Matter of fact, I was playing basketball every day. So 7th grade, I'm on the basketball team, and this is where everything started. I bring a knife. I brought a knife to school in 7th grade, right? Now, I brung the knife trying to be cool, but I was also witty. Like, because I think I had like a little beef with somebody too in 7th grade. So I brought the knife. And I remember this. I brought the knife, and I think I was on a bus, or I can't remember if I was on a bus or not. I think I was on the bus, but I gave my knife to my man, and I said, "You can hold it until I get out of class." My cousin is in that class with my man. And while I'm in class, because at the time they was doing something to the school, so we like in trailers, right? Because I think they was fixing the school or something like that. So they had a lot of classes in the trailers. Um, uh, well, actually, they had the trailers at the high school during this time. So I'm in the trailers and having class, and then next thing I know, I look out the window and I see somebody walking by in handcuffs, right? And a cop got him walking by in handcuffs. And this was my man, right? So I'm like, yo. So I automatically think about the knife that I gave him. I automatically think about the knife that I gave him, and I'm scared to death. Next thing I know, they calling my name on the intercom, right? So nobody came and got me. I don't think. I can't remember if somebody came and got me or if I left and just had to go to the office. But regardless, you notice how I said he was in handcuffs? I wasn't in handcuffs. Nobody put me in handcuffs. I remember this like it was yesterday. I was so afraid to get put in handcuffs, boy. Like I was so afraid. But anyway, I um I either went or somebody came and got me, but I walked to the office and all of that, and then they told me what had happened, and then I had to leave. Right. So now my grandfather had to come and get me. Not to mention, this was my grandfather's knife. I took his knife, right? It wasn't like a kitchen knife. This was a 12-inch blade on this knife, right? Well, not 12-inch blade, but the knife was 12 inches, right? So, um, my grandfather come get me. I don't remember everything that happened after that. I do remember we had to go back, and then they told me I was kicked out of school. I had to leave, right? So I literally got kicked out in 7th grade, y'all, for that. Now, when I was kicked out in 7th grade, I had to go to an alternative school. Me, my man, and some other kids that had got kicked out of school from before. Um, we went to the alternative school. I can't remember everything. All I know is I didn't do much work. We didn't really have to do much. But I do remember we went to like a Scared Straight program. It wasn't called Scared Straight, but I call it Scared Straight all the time because it's the exact same thing. When they took us to the prison, right? They took us to the prison, and we had to walk through the prison, and it was telling us about, situation, basically trying to scare us so that we can do better so that we don't go to jail, right? All I remember in there was that this dude who was gay, dude that was gay was the most gangster guy in there. And he tried to scare us. So like one of my men started crying. I was scared. I ain't gonna lie, I was scared. I think that was the first time I had been to a jail. Yeah, I think that was the first time I had been to a jail or prison or whatever it was. I think it was a prison. It wasn't a jail because I know how jails look. But yeah, that's a lot for 7th grade, but that literally happened. That's a fact. So I come back to school. I come back to school the next year, right? And I'm back in the school, and I'm in 8th grade. So I try out for the basketball team. Y'all. Notice the type of boy that I am during this time, right? I'm walking around acting like this, talking like this. I ain't gonna lie. At that time as well, I wanted to be. I always consider myself like I was thugging back then, right? That's what I always say. I was thugging back then because of how I was and the things that I was doing and the guys that I was with. Like I started smoking. I was smoking in eighth grade. Well, let me keep going before I get off this storyline. Um, so I come back to the school and I try out for the basketball team, but the coach is like, "You're already on the basketball team." But again, the guys that I'm hanging with, y'all, you feel me? I'm still hanging with the same guys. Still hanging with my man. My man is Crip. And then my other man that got kicked out of school, he back too. So I'm hanging with him. And I'm hanging with the other guys. Plus I'm hanging with my cousins and the basketball players. Right. But the coach, I guess he did not like what I was doing and the people I was around. So he came to me and he was like, you gotta stop hanging with the guys that you hanging with. He said, you got to stop hanging with the guys that you hanging with, or you can't be on this team anymore. And I got mad, right? I was like, what? I was like, yo, if you don't get the out my face, yo, you know what I'm saying? And I said, yo, F you, basically. You know what I'm saying? That's what I said. I said, forget you. Yeah, I know the other word. I said that. And I was like, I chose my friends over the basketball team. And I was mad at that time because I felt like there was another guy on that team that was just like me. Like how he get to stay on the basketball team, he do the same thing I do. He around the same people I'm around. He act the same way. He didn't got in more fights. You know what I'm saying? And you want me off the team. So I started to think that it was really because I got kicked out of school the year before. So I'm like, he already don't like it because it could have been anything though, because I was walking around sagging. I had flags on me and I got kicked out of school. I don't even think I was doing anything else. I wasn't doing. I ain't really do much other things, to be honest. Like I wasn't fighting every day. I wasn't in school fighting. I ain't start fighting like that until I got into high school. I mean, I was, but not like that. Not in junior high. You know what I'm saying? So hold on. Was I beefing with anybody in junior high? I don't think I was really beefing with nobody in junior high. I can't think. I can't remember that. I don't know. Maybe they had a problem with me or something. I don't know. But all right, y'all. So I'm in eighth grade. I got kicked off the basketball team. That like crushed my heart too, y'all. I don't think y'all know. Like I loved basketball. Like loved it. Would play basketball in the sleet, hell, snow, rain, every day. I would be in the mirror like I was hot sauce. If y'all know who hot sauce is, I would be like in the mirror trying to do everything hot sauce did. I was playing on the basketball team. I was going to the basketball little things on Saturday every week and playing ball with my cousins and them every week throughout the week. Like I was so sad, y'all. I'm in the eighth grade. What's that like 13, 14 years old? You know what I'm saying? Like y'all don't know how that crushed my heart. So get kicked off the team. I'm sad. I didn't talk to nobody about it, but I was sad though. I ain't gonna lie. I thought people was looking at me like I was weak and I didn't know how to ball or all of that, right? And I don't think everybody knew what had happened either. I think I just had told my cousins. But um, yeah, so I got kicked out. So eighth grade is the first year that I got in a relationship, a real relationship in the eighth grade. And this was like my first real girlfriend in the eighth grade, y'all. So we get into a relationship, and that's when I started having sex. I started having sex in the eighth grade. I started having sexual intercourse in the eighth grade. I had already done other stuff before the eighth grade, I think in like seventh grade. But in the eighth grade, I started to have sexual intercourse, right? So me and her get together, and don't be judging, y'all. Don't be judging. My grandfather would take me to her crib so we could chill, like, just chill. I guess he didn't think nothing of it, right? Um, so I would go over there and chill. Her parents would be cool with it too. And obviously we would always have sex and all of that. But This is where, now notice, I've been around the drug dealers, I've been around the thugs, but I don't think I ever really seen, the only drug that I had seen before that time was weed. I had seen weed, marijuana, and I had smoked weed. You know what I'm saying? But I literally got introduced to the trap house. But I didn't know that it was a trap house. Cause I didn't figure this out until later on. But anyway, I get with my ex, well, not my ex, my girlfriend at the time, and I go over her crib. I'm chilling, but her family member is in a relationship with a kingpin dude. You know what I'm saying? At the time, he was that, and I would go with them over there, and that's when I started seeing like literally, I didn't know this was the trap house at the time. I really did. I knew that they was thugs and all of that. I could tell, like maybe I did, but I guess I knew. Yeah, I did know they was drug dealers. I ain't gonna lie, but I did not know it was the trap house. That makes sense. I just wasn't into that yet. I guess I didn't understand the wording and all that. But I would go over there. There'd be a bunch of dudes. They all got the gold chains and big bellies, and you know what I'm saying? The people coming in and out the crib. They had cameras in there. Like if y'all ever seen ATL, and when Big Boy was the drug dealer in that movie, literally it's like that. That's exactly how it was. They had the camera, they had cameras all around the house. You go outside, they had a bunch of pit bulls lined all the way up outside in the back. You know what I'm saying? So, and I remember seeing, I don't know if it was keys or bricks, whatever. It was something. I remember seeing that, and them dudes used to have stacks of cash all the time. Now, not to mention, y'all, my cousins is just like this, but I was never around my cousins when they was doing it. You know what I mean? Like, I knew they was doing it, and I knew they smoked weed, and I knew that they sold drugs, but I never seen the drugs on them. And they was flashy, like real flashy, with look like rappers. They literally look. This is in Virginia too. At that, they literally look like rappers, y'all. Like if you would think about like Fabulous and Dipset in them back at the time, that's how they looked. And they had the chains and they had the earrings and they had, my cousin always had the flashy cars, but one of my cousins that I looked up to, he was like a pretty boy, but he was type kingpin type dude, right? And he always had a bunch of girls around him. So just imagine during this time of my life while I'm getting exposed to all of this is when I'm learning that sex, like you can be you're literally that dude and you get respected. You get respect from having sex with a bunch of girls, y'all. So just imagine, this is my whole lifestyle. This is my whole lifestyle. Yes. You know what I'm saying? This is my whole lifestyle, y'all. So not my lifestyle, my life, right? So I'm around all of this. And that's when I started to figure out, like, yo, you could get girls. Like, I want to be like, I started to admire my cousins, right? I've started to admire them because they so fly. And remember, I'm from New York, and we fly in New York, and my family in New York fly, and they're in the street. So this is like regular life to me. You know what I'm saying? Like this all I seen my entire life by this time, right? Um, so what else? So now I want to become like that, right? I'm in middle school now. I'm in middle school. My mother's reminding me like, you from New York, and of course I know I'm from New York, but she like trying to get me into dressing specific ways and all of that, and I'm like, okay. So now I'm in the Timbs. I got an Avrex. I'm feeling like, yo, I'm that dude. Like, what you talking about? I'm from New York, bro. Like, I'm in VA, but I'm from New York. You know what I'm saying? I'm from New York, though. Even though I'm always in New York, or I would go back to New York and all of that, it's still like, you know, like my family like this, so I'm like this. Char. I didn't even know you was in here, Char. But yeah, so um, hold on, let me make sure I'm on schedule with this one. I'm trying to make sure I don't forget nothing, y'all. Oh, oh yeah. So during that time, obviously, I'm telling y'all how it was, the things that I did. I used to sag my pants. I used to have the do-rags on. I had braids. This is the time my grandma, she had called me a hooligan or something. What's another word, y'all? What's another word? She called me a hooligan or something. I think she called me a hooligan. It was one of them words. She got so mad when I got braids. I had braids. Cause back then, if you was the thug or you was in the street, you had braids. So I had braids. I got braids. My grandma got so mad at me. And yeah. Hold on. Let me make sure. Okay. I'm just making sure I'm staying on track. All right. So still in middle school. Still in middle school. All right. So still in middle school. Me and that girl, we in a relationship during that time, and this is where a lot of issues started to flare up because I was in this relationship. Yeah, hoodlum. Char, she either said hooligan or hoodlum. It was one of them. But but yeah, we was in a relationship and things started to get bad because from my side, now that I look back, I would be mad at her about things. And also because she didn't like to communicate about things, right? And obviously we children, but still I like to talk about things. She didn't like talking about things. She was a specific way, this and that and this, blase blah. Things go on. We still together. We in middle school. We still together. Um, so now I'll go to high school. I'm in high school, y'all. I'm in high school. All of this gonna come full throttle, y'all, to the full testimony, which I gotta hear the story. That's why I said it's gonna take a long time. But so I'm in high school now. I think it's 10th grade. Because I think my middle school went up to ninth grade. So I get in 10th grade and I guess things is regular. Now I'm not trying out for the basketball team, though. I'm not even trying out for the basketball team now. Like, I'm afraid to try out for the basketball team, to keep it real, because my cousin, he was a star basketball player and I was always with him. But I thought every coach looked at me the same way that the other coach looked at me. Right? I thought that they was thinking that I was bad or that I hung with the bad guys or they remember me when I got kicked out of school and they didn't want me to be in close proximity with my cousin. That's what I was thinking in my head. Like they probably don't want me around him because this and that and this and all of that. But this crazy though that they used to give me special treatment because he was my cousin. They used to give me special treatment because he was my cousin. Like literally, I'll be in the school walking around with a do rag on, and you ain't supposed to have the do rag on or have my hats on, and I ain't supposed to have no hat on. And then I'll put it right back on right after they tell me to take it off, and they would just let it go and tell everybody else, and everybody else would be like, "Rudy, how you get to keep your hat on? How you keep it do?" I'm in school with my do rag on, y'all. In school with the do on, right? But all right, so that go on. I ain't playing basketball no more. I'm still in a relationship though. So 11th grade come. 11th grade come. This when all the beef start, right? Cause I'm with my girl at the time, but this dude in the school that I don't got no beef with no more though, cause I apologized to him after I got closer to God. But when we was in school, like I found out that he was trying to get at my girl, and I felt that it was so disrespectful, right? And I started to black out, you know what I'm saying? And I started beefing with him and his mans and my mans, beefing with them, and all this other nonsense going on between us. And me and her ended up breaking up. Me and her ended up breaking up. I think it was 10th or 11th. I think it might have been 11th grade. I think it's 11th grade that we broke up. So we break up. We break up. It's 11th grade. And then Uh, hold on. Okay, so yeah, we end up breaking up. And right after that, y'all, it's like I'm going crazy into this sex thing. Like I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Don't judge me, man. I feel like I was that dude, man. I was that dude back then, right? I was that dude, man. So I had a lot of girls on me from elementary school up until then. So when I broke up with her, I had a lot of girls on me that still wanted me. But one girl, she ended up getting into a fight with this girl. And girls started to be afraid of her. So they didn't really want to mess with me because they thought she was going to try to fight them, I guess. Um, so she ended up fighting that girl, but I wasn't even into that girl. Anyway, uh, so yeah, I'm going into this sex thing. I'm having a lot of sex with a lot of girls. Me and my man, my right hand man, we used to always go see girls from different schools and different areas, even the rival girls, like from the rival schools. My fault, from the rival schools. So it'll be girls from different schools that's not at our school. We'll be trying to mess with all those girls, man, and we was messing with them. But during that time, it was crazy, y'all. So also, um, not to mention, okay, this is where I'm at. Let's get to the good stuff. Let's get to the good stuff. During that time, I'm in the 11th grade. Notice I told you I was around drug dealers, my cousins and all of these dudes. They all the drug dealers and thugs and whatever you want to call them. That's what they were, right? Um, During this time, I'm even more flashy now. I don't know if y'all know about throwback jerseys. I'm wearing throwbacks. I seen my cousins getting them. Of course, we wearing Jordans. We wearing all the new sneakers that come out. I wanted to be the flyest dude. Actually, I got best dressed in high school. I got best dressed in high school because I wanted to be the flyest dude ever when I was in high school. But we was wearing throwbacks, and this was when throwbacks came out. And if y'all know about Mitchell and Ness throwbacks, man, they was like $300 a piece, right? So we wearing all of this stuff. We wearing all of this stuff, and this is when I wanted to sell drugs. Now, right? I'm older. I know my cousin is a kingpin. I know two of them are. I'm older. I'm around. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm about to tell y'all a true testimony right here before I get out of the high school part. Um, okay, just so that y'all know, this is a miracle. This is one big thing in my life that God literally saved me from. So this story from this drug testimony that I'm about to tell y'all is a big testimony. Actually, it's the last testimony I put on my YouTube. But this is the miracle that one of the biggest miracles that I had when it came to God, when I started to see him in some type of way. So I'm in high school, I'm with my mans. Of course, we smoking weed and stuff. I ain't never sold weed ever, but we smoking weed. And even the dudes that I told you that had the trap house, I used to always could get weed from them. They would just give it to me for free, right? Just give me the weed because they was big drug dealers. So I guess they didn't have to sell it. And I was young, so they just gave it to me. So in my mind, where I'm from, everybody sell drugs from New York to VA. So it's like, I want to be like that, right? That's literally how my mind was. I want to be like that. I want to have more flashy clothes. I want to have all the girls. I want to have the jewelry. I want to have the cars because one of my cousins, he always had new cars. You know what I'm saying? He always had new cars. He always had flashy clothes. Just, he looked like a rapper in the video, to be honest. And I wanted that too. So in my mind, I'm thinking, yo, I stay low. I'm gonna be a big drug dealer. Like I'm about to get a connect. I'm about to take over this thing, right? That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, I got my right hand man right here. He a whole soldier. Anybody mess with him, he on it, right? Anybody mess with anybody, my family, they on it. We on it, right? That's what I'm thinking in my head. So I remember one day I went to my cousin and I was like, yo, what's up, man? Like, put me on. And he was like, all right. And he was like, be here on this day, whatever, whatever. I brought my man with me, but he stayed in the car. And he was like, here. And he gave me uh, some drugs. And it was crack, right? At this time, it was crack. And I can't remember what year that was. That was like 2003, 2003, 2002, something like that, right? And that's when I started to get into to selling drugs. And I don't want y'all to think I want no big drug dealer or nothing, but that's what I started to do, right? And during that time, like I would go and literally set up shop. I would skip school, y'all, to go sell drugs. I would go out, especially on the 1st and the 15th. I would not go to school so that I could be the first one. I would skip school and go be the first one to catch the people who did drugs before the rest of them did, right? Like I'm gonna catch them first. Like I'm gonna get them, they gonna get their check. I'm gonna take them, go get they gonna give me the money. Like that's how I was. And I remember my cousin, I remember I was at the spot and my cousin was like, yo, this the spot right here. You need to be here all the time, right? And I'm like, all right. So me, I'm trying to get into it. I'm trying to get into it. I'm trying to get into it. And one day I went to school. All right, pay attention, y'all. This the testimony right here. This the miracle right here. If y'all ain't watched the video, this the miracle. So one day I go to school. I got I got the crack in the car. I got the crack, cocaine in the car. And again, this is when I was 16, y'all. This is my testimony, so I gotta keep it real. But I'm gonna say that for this recording. I was 16, I don't do that at all, y'all. Right? But I go to school this day, y'all. And it's high school. I'm in the hallway. I think I'm by the door, and I hear somebody saying that the cops coming today. Y'all know the raids that they do, right? They do the raids in the school. Um, they do the raids in the school where they come through and they, got the dogs sniffing the classrooms and the cars and all of that. So I hear somebody saying the cops coming today. They're gonna do a raid, right? And and I get scared. Like I'm really scared. Cause I'm a kid, y'all. My heart started racing. I remember that. My heart started racing. But I'm in the classroom afraid to. And I actually left the classroom. I went and left the classroom. I remember that. I left the classroom. I went outside to my car. I tried to, it was in a bag. It was in a baggie, right? So I tried to wipe my prints off the baggie and I tried to move it and I ended up putting it under a trash can that was by the school, right? I didn't even look for cameras or nothing. But I ended up putting it under the trash can and went back into class, still scared, but that was my last class for the day, actually. So heart pumping, and well, maybe it wasn't. I can't remember. I can't remember if it was the first or the last, or sometime in between. I don't know. But the cops ain't come that day. Cops ended up not coming that day, y'all. So I'm Gucci, right? I'm still scared, but my heart, you know what I'm saying? I'm good. No more heart racing. I'm like, that's not the miracle though, y'all. That's not the miracle. So the cops ain't come. I ended up taking it from under the trash can, getting back in the car and leaving, right? I left. I'm like, no weight on my shoulders now. I'm like, oh, I could breathe now. You know what I'm saying? So I leave, go back home. I think I left it in the car. I don't think I brought it in the house. Left it in the car. Look, y'all, that's not the miracle. Pay attention to what I'm about to say though. This the miracle right here. So the next day come and I get a phone call. And it's one of my friends that's cool with my cousins. She my friend too, but my cousins is always around her. And she's like, yo, the cops coming today. And I'm like, what? She like, the cops are coming to the school today. And I'm like, for real? And she like, yeah. I'm like, yo, how you know? And she was like, my dad. I think she said her dad was a cop or he knew or something like that. So I was like, word. I'm like, oh man. I'm like, yo, thank you, yo. Thank you so much. And then I told her, I said, how do you know? Like, how did she know that I was doing this? Because I didn't tell people. The only people that knew was my man that was always with me and my cousins that I was always around, but they didn't sell drugs, right? They just played basketball and went to school. They didn't do that. Even though they in my family too, so they know that our family do the same thing, right? They know that they do this stuff. But regardless, she called me, she told me, and I'm thankful that she called me, even though I don't know if I was gonna bring the drugs that day or not. I don't think I was. It would have been dumb, but I was a child, so I mean, I wasn't thinking straight. But anyway, she told me the cops coming today. Y'all, I go to the school that day. Guess what happened? The cops come. The cops came that day, raided the school, y'all. They raided that school the next day. So everybody was thinking that the cops was coming that day when they heard about it. But the cops was really coming the next day, right? I wonder if they did that on purpose. Anyway, so cops end up coming. I ain't get caught with nothing, y'all. But other people got caught. And I know I'll put that in the testimony. Other people got caught with stuff because anytime there's a drug raid, there's always somebody getting caught with weed, right? People always get caught with marijuana. That's nothing new. That's regular, right? So boys or whatever got caught with marijuana. I remember that. And I just thought to myself, like, yo, I would have been caught with crack. They got caught with weed. I would have been caught with crack cocaine. That's a big difference. That's a big difference in a sentence, especially for me to be close to 18. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, that's the miracle right there. Ain't no way possible that I got out that situation. How? Somebody ended up calling me the day before, and I brought the drugs to the school the day before. Well, somebody ended up calling me that day, and I ended up bringing the drugs to the school the day before. Right now, at the time, I didn't really think this was God. Well, yes, I did, but I didn't, if that makes sense. I think I was just like, thank you, God, but I didn't take it serious. You know what I'm saying? Because I think I kept selling drugs during this time. But anyway, I ain't get caught with nothing, y'all. Now imagine, that's something, that's what I tell people, that's a whole miracle, bro. Now, to go further, my cousins are still drug dealers. They still drug dealers. They still he's still a kingpin. And I'm still kind of selling for him at the time, right? Just ain't bringing it to school. But guess what? He ended up getting indicted along with like 30 other people that ended up getting indicted a little bit after this time where I almost got caught. The same year, he got indicted, he got caught. He got mad years, right? He got mad years. But guess what, y'all? Nobody came looking for me. Nobody thought anything about me. Nobody asked me, no cops questioned me about a thing. I wasn't on the radar for nothing, y'all. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Now, obviously, it's probably not, it didn't happen because I won't no big drug dealer. But at the same time, imagine y'all know what be happening with people. They ain't never sold a drug in their life and they get caught up in a situation out of nowhere, right? Or they just got it on them today and all of a sudden they in prison for years. You know what I'm saying? So for me, who was literally learning how to sell drugs, who was literally selling crack, who was literally skipping school to go and do it, to go get people on the 1st and the 15th. And my mindset was like, I'm about to do this. I'm about to be on. You know what I'm saying? I ain't get caught. Now I want y'all to understand, even other situations what happened with me, y'all, that God kept saving me from. I remember my man that I told you that was my right-hand man. He used to be with me all the time, especially when we would go to other like counties and other areas to go see girls, and we would have drugs on us, right? We would have weed and crack. If I had the crack on me, like I would have drugs. We would have drugs in the car. And guess what? I remember getting stopped by a cop on the highway. Stupid me, because they always, I guess I was speeding or whatever. And I remember getting caught by, I mean, not caught, but stopped by the cops. And I'm like scared to death because we got drugs in the car. So I tell my mans, I'm like, yo, I tell him, open the speaker on the door. I'm like, yo, open that speaker and put the drugs in there while I'm driving to slow down for the cop, y'all. While I'm driving to slow down for the cop, I'm slowing down. I'm taking my time to stop my car so that he could do all of this, right? And, guess what? We didn't get caught. We didn't get caught. Not to mention my mans that was with me, he would get in a lot of trouble all the time, getting locked up and all of this. He would get locked up in all these other situations that would happen with him. And that's just a look, y'all. If y'all don't understand what I'm saying, there's so many situations that happened when I was in high school, man. I remember not even one time. This happened a lot too, even in my high school years. I remember when I would be speeding down the street, right? And then the cops would turn their light on, like I'm going this way. The cop would be coming this way while I'm going this way. He flick his light on, woof, right? And I'll just be out, woof, I'm out. And he turned around, but I'm already going. Like it's a bunch of stuff that I used to do, y'all. What else? I think, am I missing anything else? So that's the drug dealer story or the drug miracle situation that I went through. And okay. Okay, so we're gonna keep going. That's one testimony, one miracle. It's another miracle I could talk about, but I don't want to talk about that one. Ain't got nothing to do with street stuff. There was some other stuff, but it was definitely a miracle. I'll talk about that another day. I think I talked about it on TikTok one time, but I'll talk about it another time. So again, y'all, I'm still in high school during this time. I'm in high school. We ain't got out of high school yet. That's why I told y'all this testimony's long. We ain't got out of high school yet. I'm in high school, right? So obviously I told y'all this is happening. I told y'all I see all the drug dealers and stuff, right? Now I used to go to Virginia Beach or to what is it, Chippenham. That happens on StreamYard. But anyway, I used to go to Chippenham in Virginia where my cousin lived at. And she had a husband. I remember she had got married. Or no. Yeah. Married. Yeah. She got married to this dude that went to VCU. And I remember seeing him. I used to love him. Like he was such a good dude to me. Like he was so fun. He was always happy and joyful, right? But he went to VCU and he went to school for computers, right? He went to school for computers, y'all. So notice I told y'all I didn't seen a bunch of drug dealers. I didn't seen cash. I didn't seen all of this stuff. This is all I've been seeing. Of course, I lived with my grandfather, and not to mention all them situations I got into in basketball and all that. My grandfather was always there. He was like always there for me. I ain't gonna lie. He was the main man in my life. But um, I was still persuaded from the outside because my family, these my family, right? And anyway, I used to go to Chippenham and I used to see them all the time and be at my cousin's crib. And when they got married, not even married, before they got married, when he got engaged to her, he had bought her a $10,000 ring. They had built the house from the ground up. I remember they bought a Benz and a Range Rover. So now just imagine how I'm looking at him, right? I didn't see all these dudes do this, right? Do all of this stuff in the street and got all of this flashy stuff. But then now I see this one guy who went to college. And I actually just told his son something, right? That I'm gonna tell you in a second. But now I see this one guy and he went to college and he done bought her a $10,000 ring. And now he got this house being built. And now he got a Benz and a Range Rover. Where he getting all this money from? But he went to college and he was a computer consultant. So guess what's popping up in my mind now, y'all? My mind's starting to go different ways. Like I'm starting to think more now. I'm like, hold on. Right? Now, all of this stuff happened. And this was what's on my mind now. So I'm giving y'all a picture. This was what's on my mind at the time. But notice I said my cousin got locked up. After my cousin got locked up, what was on my mind also was like, yo, I could get his connect. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna get his connect, and I'm gonna start. I'm gonna be that dude, right? I'm gonna take his spot. That's literally what I was thinking. Like, I'm gonna get his connect, and I'm gonna take his spot, right? And when he come back home, he gonna be Gucci, right? When he come back home, he gonna be Gucci. And I'm gonna hold it down. That's what I was thinking. This is just thoughts in my head, right? So, but then during that time after they got locked up, people got killed and I remember somebody got thrown in the trunk and all this other stuff, or somebody who snitched. It was things that was happening. And during that time, I was like, oh, heck no, bro. I ain't trying to get in this. I don't want none of this stuff, right? I do not want to get locked up. That's all I'm thinking in my head. Like, yo, bro, I don't want to get locked up. I already could have been locked up so many times, man. And I'm thinking like how I keep getting out these situations, right? So so now, sorry y'all, this ain't no, it's just my hair be all over the place. So now, y'all, I'm where I'm at. Okay, trying to get my head straight so I can remember where I'm at. Hold up. Okay, so I said I wanted to do that, but I wanted to I started to change my mind. Okay, so now I'm starting to remember because I'm about to graduate, right? I'm in 12th grade now. I'm about to graduate. And I hadn't had good grades, y'all. I think I had lower than a 2.0. I ain't even gonna lie to you. That's how bad I was not doing because not from my, I was not paying attention and stuff. I wasn't doing my work. And I was just all over the place, right? So I was having trouble in school. I needed to take a test or something to get out to school. It was real bad. And I'm starting to think what I'm gonna do after school, right? Because I'm like, well, I ain't gonna sell drugs now. I don't want to do that, right? So I'm over here trying to figure out what to do. And I remember thinking about my cousin's husband. And then I started thinking about computer classes I had. And I remember I had computer classes in middle school until high school. And every time I took them classes in middle school, I always got A's and B's. Notice I didn't do good. Like I said, I wasn't doing good. But the computer classes, I always did good. And I always did good in my welding classes. I kept getting A's and B's in my welding class, and I had a couple of them, right? Like I would even do projects for my man, like weld something up because I welded it so good, right? Like I'm really good at looking at something and being able to do it after I look at it, right? So, and I could do that with like a lot of things. So now I'm like, okay, I'm good with computers, but I don't know if I want to do that or whatever. And up until this time, y'all, just so that I can help y'all see, nobody ever mentioned college to me. Not one person, not my family, not nobody mentioned college to me at all. And I also remember one of my cousins saying that I'm gonna be like other people in the family, like you know what I'm saying. I remember them saying that to me, and to me, I didn't see like the problem because it's like I didn't know that y'all looked at them like that. You know what I'm saying? But I remember hearing her say that nonsense out loud or whatever she said it though. I heard her. Anyway, um, so I'm good at school. Excuse me. I'm good at welding. I'm good at computers. I heard of this school called the Apprentice School in Newport News. I think it's in Newport News for the people that's from 75. The Apprentice School that's by the shipyard, the Navy shipyard. And I'm like, oh, I forgot who told me, but I'm like, oh, that's dope. Like you could go there, you could weld and get paid and go to class all in the same day, and you get paid. You could get an apartment and all of that. I'm like, oh, I'm on that. I'm about to try to see if I can get in that school. So I try to get into the school. I apply. My grandfather take me out there. I go see it, and all the 757 people. Yeah, I know about the apprentice school, right? So my grandfather, he took me, you know what I'm saying? He took me there and my letter came back and I ended up getting in school. They said I needed like some extra classes or something. I was so excited, y'all. I'm like, oh, I'm about to be that dude. I'm about to have money. I'm about to have all the girls. Literally, that was on my mind. I'm about to have all the girls at my crib. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to live over here no more. Like, I ain't got to live where I was at no more. Right? So that's what happened. And actually, I didn't get into school, so this is what happened. Now I had to have a plan B. And I thought to myself, like, dang, man, what I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do? So I'm like, all right, maybe I could do an advanced welding class and get a welding job somewhere. So I went to Southside Community College, and I took an advanced welding class, and then I tried to get a job. So I'm like, oh, all right, I got my welding stuff. I can put that on there from high school. I got this advanced class because I got into the Southside Community College. Notice, pay attention, y'all. I said I got into the Southside Community College. I never took an SAT in my life, but guess what? You don't need an SAT, I don't think, to get into a community college. I don't know if you do now, but you don't need an SAT to get into a community college, right? I ended up taking that one class and got a 3.0, got a B, right? I got a B. Now I look for a job. I can't find a job. So my uncle is like, why don't you try to come and get into school? And I'm like, how am I gonna try to get into the school? I never took an SAT. Like, I never thought about college and none of that. And he was like, try to get into the school. Right? So, and this was called St. Paul's College. So I tried to get into the school, and they told me, they was like, oh, you could get in because you had a 3.0 at Southside Community College. I said, what? Y'all, I said, what? I could get into the college because I went to a community college, but what about the SAT? What about my GPA at high school? They said, we don't care about your GPA at high school because you got a 3.0 with a college credit. I said, what? I got into the school, y'all. So now I get into the school. Guess what? I'm thinking about I'm thinking about my computer classes, right? I get into the school and I said, I'm gonna take computer science, right? Because I was so good at the computer classes. But I started taking computer science and I hated what this HTML class that they had. I remember I had an HTML class. I hated that class. I was like, oh my God, yo, I ain't taking this nonsense. I don't want to be in this computer science crap, right? No judgment, y'all. I don't think y'all know like the amount of thoughts in my mind. Me being in college, I never thought I would go to college. Me being in this HTML class, I'm over here like, yo, I'm not this type of dude. I'm like, people probably, my family or whoever, my guys that's not in college, probably looking at me like, yo, because when you in the street or when you doing street things, you be looking at people and be like, man, this person in school or they in college, you know what I'm saying? So I'm over here thinking people gonna look at me away because of certain things, right? And I don't know. I just thought like I guess I thought like I wasn't good enough for it, right? Yeah, HTML is the worst. Until Black Planet came out and you had to like code, you had to do codes. I remember that now. I remember the HTML when Black Planet came out. I'm like, well, I'm glad I did take an HTML class. I know how to do this a little bit, right? But anyway, I hated that HTML class. So I ended up getting a 3.6 or 3.8 that first semester, y'all. You know what's crazy? How my GPA started changing after high school. How I start doing good in classes after high school, right? So this is the story, y'all. Y'all gotta keep on because it's all testimony, y'all. This all testimony. Y'all gonna understand. So I want y'all to see how God changed my life. That's why I started from the beginning, right? So now I got the 3.6, 3.8, whatever it was. And I'm like, yo, I don't want to be here no more. Like, I don't want to be in Brunswick. I don't want to be in this county. I don't want to be in this small county. I don't want to be here because of all the problems I had from the dudes I beef with, from the girls. You know what I'm saying? And then my man that was my right hand man had so many problems with people too. Like, if you see me with him, they know me from being with him. You know what I mean? That's beef. That's issues. Thank you, Valerie. Oh yeah, y'all. I'm monetized now, so if y'all wanna do the super thanks, I could do that. I mean, I could hit the whatever this is called. I'm so new to this, but the banners and the comments I could highlight it. Thank you, Valley. I appreciate that. and I can highlight y'all messages, but it's up to y'all. Um, I like this yard stream thing. But so where was that? Oh, so I got the 3.6, 3.8, whatever. I'm telling myself like, yo, I don't want to be here no more. I can't live here no more. Cause again, remember, I came from New York to to the country, right? That's what we call it. From New York, it's like you go into the country, you move into the country, right? So it was always the country in my head. It's the country, right? Virginia's the country, no matter what part it is. It's the country, right? So or down south in the country. That's how it is, right? Appreciate you, Pure Life. So I'm saying I don't want to be here no more. Now my cousin got into Virginia State University. My cousin that I told you was the star basketball player coming up. He got into the he got a VSU. He got into VSU, and I was like, yo, let me try to see if I can apply to some schools that's not here, right? Because now I didn't got into a college. I got a 3.6, 3.8, whatever it was. I'm like, I could leave. I could get up out of here. Let me see. Now I'm trying to test the waters. Like, yo, I want to be here. Let me apply to some schools, right? Remember, y'all, nobody ever mentioned college to me, ever. Not nobody until my uncle told me to apply to school. Nobody ever mentioned college to me at all. Never told me to plan to go to college. That obviously tells you nobody thought I was going to go to college, right? Nobody suggested it, nothing, right? I thought about it because, not just because my uncle brought it up, because I seen my cousin's husband. That's what made me think about it in the first place, right? So now I'm like, yo, I gotta get out of here. I started to applied to Virginia State University. I applied to Norfolk State University, and I applied to Virginia Union University. I ended up getting in all three. I got into all three of them schools. I don't think y'all understand, y'all. I wasn't supposed to be in college. I never took an SAT. You would think that I would have ended up in jail somewhere or somewhere else, dead, right? I got in college, y'all. And then I get in all these colleges, y'all. I never took an SAT, not one day. Still to this day, I got a whole master's in my PhD program right now, and I still ain't take a SAT from this day, from ever. I never took a SAT, y'all. I ain't take a GRE either. I'm gonna try to tell y'all how good God is. I ain't take a SAT, I ain't take a GRE at all, right? So I apply to VSU, I apply to NSU, I apply to VUU. I get in every school. My family's telling me, don't go to Norfolk State. They're saying, don't go to Norfolk State because Norfolk State is a party school and they don't want me to get in trouble, right? So I don't want to get in trouble either because I told you, I look at everything that I've been through. I'm like, yo, like, I know I'm gonna get in trouble if I'm around certain things. I know you know what I'm saying? I feel like I attract these type of guys around me or something, right? These people, like, why are they so attracted to me? Why do they want to be my friend? Right? That's what I was thinking, right? So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to VSU. So VSU was like having some type of like orientation. It was like a one night thing. I remember this. It was like a one night thing from like Saturday or maybe Friday to Saturday. So like the kids had to come visit VSU, and then we spent the night in the dorm room, and we got to go around. They had little things going on, and Char, appreciate that. Hold on, let me hit the thing. Heading out, but continue to let God use you. All right, Char, get your rest. Get your rest. I appreciate the love. So, where I'm at. So, Norfolk State. No, Virginia State. Norfolk State I didn't go because they said it was a party school. So I ended up saying I'm gonna go to VSU. I went to the orientation that night, that overnight thing, and I loved it. And I loved it because of the girls. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, oh my God, there's so many girls here. This was like in 2004. No. It was 2005. I was like, oh my God, there's so many women. There's so many women, man. I'm gonna keep it real. That's exactly one reason why I wanted to go to VSU. And VSU was an HBCU, it's all black, right? Obviously, my schools, all throughout my life, I was in black schools. But I love the black women, so I'm like, yo, oh my God, I gotta go to this school. So I ended up choosing to go to VSU. And before I got to VSU, I was like, all right, God, I know the things that I done been through. I know the things that I done did. I know how many times you done got me up out of this, got me out of things. And I don't think I'm like literally saying this with the thought process of like really like talking to God, but I'm talking to God in a way. Or maybe I was talking to myself. I don't know during this time. Again, it's like 2005, y'all. So I'm like, all right, God, when I go to VSU, or maybe I said Rudy, when I go to VSU, I was like, I am not making no friends. I literally said, yo, I'm not making no friends at VSU. I said, I'm not making no friends because if I make friends at VSU, something like I'm going to be getting in trouble. I just thought to myself, like, I am going to get in trouble if I make friends with the wrong people. So I just told myself I ain't making no friends. And I was in a relationship at the time. So I'm like, okay, uh, I ain't messing with no girls. Like, I don't want to talk to nobody. I'm staying out of trouble. I ain't trying to have no beef. I don't want no girls going crazy, being mad at me, all that stuff, right? So I was like, I ain't making no friends. I ain't getting in trouble no more. Because when you think of college, you don't think of people getting in trouble. Like, you think of, like, you a good child, right? That's what you think of when you doing certain things. You don't think, like, school is wild. You think, like, this for the good people, right? Like, you not, this is not the place to do these type of things, right? So I get to VSU. I'm glad you made that decision, yeah, but keep listening, y'all. So I get to VSU. I said I ain't making no friends, so I got a girlfriend. I want to stay faithful, right? Because I really like loyalty. I was always taught to be loyal. Like, you gotta be loyal, and I always wanted to be loyal. So I get into I'm in a relationship. I go to VSU. It's 2005. Yeah, 2005 spring. No. August, I mean. It's August 2005. And I remember I had a dorm at Williams Hall at VSU. And I was at the top floor. I think it was the third floor or something like that. And I got cool with the guys on the floor. And all we used to do was play games, play PS2, because PS2 was out. Play PS2, play basketball games. And I had a job because I had a car, right? I had a car at the time. And I was like, yo, I got to get a job because I got to get some money or whatever. So I ended up uh, finding out about this job at the mall, and they used to sell jerseys. We had been wearing throwback jerseys like the year before that, but throwback jerseys started to get played out the year I went to college, right? So, um, get the job. I had to write a letter to the school. My manager had to send something back so that they can say it's okay for me to have a car because the first year at Virginia State during the time, you couldn't have a car, right? You wasn't supposed to unless you had a job. So I'm literally one of the people that got a car in as a freshman, and it won't that many people who had a car as a freshman, right? So I remember just being cool with everybody, and I'm like, staying in my lane and all that. I'm staying in my lane, not making friends with everybody, but I'm friends with the guys on the hallway, and I'm thinking they all good boys, you know what I'm saying? And a couple of the dudes was kind of, how I was. Actually, the dude across the room, his was my door and his door right there, right? He was kind of like me too, but I wasn't, what I'm saying? I would see what they was doing. They would be smoking and stuff like that, but I was just like, nah, what I'm saying? We cool. And then one day, he was like, I see you got a car. Can you take me to the store? I'll give you this much money. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, yeah, I got you. Because now I could get some more money, right? I'm like, yeah, I got you. And from there, I got cool with him. And I got cool with all the guys around him. And everything started to change. Everything started to change. Not to mention, I was also selling CDs at the job that I was at in the mall. We would sell CDs. So, but anyway, everything started to change, and I started getting cool with the guys who was a little bit like me, right? They was from New York. So now I'm around New Yorkers. My people's from New York. My people's from other states. You know what I'm saying? And we cool, we doing things. But guess what? Now things start shifting, y'all, because now my life start to become exactly like how it was in high school. You feel me? Exactly like how it was in high school. So now I wasn't trying to stay. Actually, I was staying faithful, but then I remember when I was a freshman, this girl, she was a senior and she was in my class and she wanted me. She wanted to have sex and I kept telling her like, nah, I got a girl. Me and my girl ended up breaking up. And that's when, immediately when me and her broke up, I hit that girl up. I hit the senior up and I went over there and I had sex. And that's when all the sexcapades started at VSU. Right? So now with my guys, we doing stuff, we smoking, we skipping class. Y'all see what I'm talking about? I started doing the same thing that I did before. I'm skipping class. I'm trying to see girls. Girls trying to see me. They coming to my dorm sometimes. I didn't have that many girls coming to my dorm when I was a freshman. But the next year, I actually got an apartment. Oh, here's the part right here, y'all. Hold on, was it the next year? That was 2006. Yeah, 2005, 2006. No, and then I did 2006 spring. So during all that time, obviously, I'm doing the same things. I'm having sex with girls. I'm getting cool. I'm smoking weed. I'm doing all of this stuff. I'm skipping school in college. Guess what happened, y'all? Spring 2006, which, not spring, fall 2006, I get a letter that tells me I am suspended from the school. It's fall 2006. But now I'm suspended for 2007 though, because I got the letter in spring 2000. I mean not spring, fall 2006. So now I got a letter that tells me I am suspended from VSU. They saying I'm suspended, but I cannot come back to the school for a year. Right? For a year. But when I come back, I gotta reapply. Does that sound like a suspension to you? That sounds like you are kicked out, right? It's over for you, right? That's what it sounds like. So that's what it was. I don't call it a suspension. I got kicked out. I had to reapply to get in there, right? So this year, that 2007 year was like one of my roughest years. I always say that because I got kicked out of school, and then some other situations happened with cops where some scary situations. I'll talk about that another time, but situations happen with cops where I kind of thought that something was gonna happen to me, or then I'm getting threats from people telling me that they want to kill me and all of this stuff, and then I got kicked out of a house because y'all know when you're in college you could rent out a house or you could rent out a room. Like all these different students could be in a house and renting out a room, and I had rented out a room during that time. And see, this is why I need to pay attention. I didn't even write this down as well, but there's something else that I left out. I'll add it in a second. But I ended up getting kicked out of VSU. I ended up having to stay at a house because I couldn't stay in a dorm, and I had an apartment in 2006 as well. But something happened with my roommate, and we had to get up out that apartment. So now in 2007, out of the school, don't got an apartment. No, 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 no. I actually, after me and my mans couldn't be in the apartment no more, that's when I got into that house. That's when I got into the house where we had to pay rent for like a room to be in a room. And I'm in the house and all of that, and I'm not in school, and it's girls, all of this. I actually became a party promoter because in 2006, before I got kicked out of VSU in 2006, I became a party promoter. I started my own promotional company called Black Star Promotions around that time, y'all. So I am at this house, but we having parties. We having club parties. Like Like I got clubs set up where we had parties and we promote the parties and all of that. And it was a lot of me and my guys. It was a lot of, guys that was with me. A lot of my team on that. But so that happened. I'm in the lady house. That situation happened with the cops. I got kicked out her house because of the cops. Right? She kicked me out because of that. I guess she didn't want no problems. Y'all see what I'm talking about? Look at 2007. Kicked out of school, kicked out of house, all of that. At this time, I had got into a relationship as well. And my girlfriend at the time lived right down the street from the house that I got kicked out of. So when I got kicked out the house, she was like, "Oh, you could come here," right? Because I had a job, all that. So I came there. I was staying well. This was 2007, 2007, and got kicked out. Moved in with her. Uh, no, I was paying rent. We was paying rent for everything, but she helped me because she was like, "You can come stay here," all of that. Because I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to tell my family that I got kicked out. They didn't know that I got kicked out of school, right? So all that stuff happened. Me and her got in a relationship. What else? I kicked out, got in a relationship, was bad. Okay, you know what I mean? She helped me when I was suspended. Um, 2008. 2008. 2008, I actually ended up getting back into school. So I ended up getting back in VSU. And during that time, actually, when I was suspended, I went to a community college during that time. Went to a community college because they needed to see that I was still trying, to take courses and all of that, and I wasn't just doing nothing. And I actually got cool with my dean because I was in the business department because I switched from computer science to computer information systems because I didn't want to do that HTML stuff, right? So I'm in computer information systems. I got cool with my dean, and I got cool with one of the ladies in financial aid, and I got cool with the person that was in the academic credit committee. So she was actually on the committee of who comes back into the school. Like they had meetings about who comes back from suspension. I got cool with that lady. I got cool with my dean, got cool with somebody in financial aid, got cool with that lady. And I would always go see them, right? Throughout that entire year, I kept going to see them, talking to them, getting cool with them, and going to school and working. So when it was time to come back, I applied, uh, and I got in. They let me back into school, and she said they let me back in because I was doing all that other stuff with school. I was still in community college and taking classes, but they ain't take none of my courses for VSU. To VSU. So I ended up going back to VSU in 2008, right? If I didn't get suspended, I would have graduated in 2009. So my suspension plus me not going to classes, all of that messed me up, y'all. Oh, it's something I forgot to add. During this is why I didn't even write this down. This is why I need my notes because I be forgetting stuff. So before I got suspended, might have been while I was suspended. No, it was before. It was before. So even though, now let me bring up, remember when I said I was doing the same things? Y'all know I started to sell drugs at VSU too. I started to sell drugs at VSU, but it wasn't crack. It was weed, right? And I knew I had to connect. I could go and get marijuana wherever I wanted to. Like I could get ounces, all of that. And that's exactly what I started to do too. So that's something that I left out. And I was doing that a little bit heavy because I had to scale. I was bagging stuff up. I would sell it on campus, all of that, right? Like people just walking by and just giving them like this, like in their hand, and just keep going and all of that. So actually, I started doing the same exact things that I was doing in high school. I left that part out. But in 2008, I got back in VSU. Me and my girlfriend at the time, the one that let me in the crib, she we ended up breaking up. That was a bad relationship. That was not a good relationship. And and we had real big issues, y'all. And when I look back now, it had a lot on my side, not even to mention her side, but on my side, it had a lot to do with you know, the abandonment and the neglect that I might have felt from my dad not being there, and me and my mom not having a good relationship, and my mother not being around as much, and also because, you know, my mother didn't talk much and all of these other things. So that, you know, ended up being a part of the issues in the relationship, in that relationship. So that ended that. That's in 2008. So in 2009, I think I started talking to this girl in 2009. I think I got in a relationship with her in 2009, or maybe I got in a relationship with her in 2010. I can't remember the year. So, oh no, I didn't pay. I didn't pay with drug money. I paid because I had a job. I was able to pay because I had a job. But uh, what else? So I ended up getting into a relationship in 2009, 2010. It was one of them years. And hold on, y'all, real quick. All right, so I ended up getting into a relationship in 2010, 2009, whatever. And I remember going to church with this girl, right? I went to church with her, and I was dressed street. Like, I had on Tim's, I had on a fitted hat, I had on a chain, right? I had on a polo shirt. This is when polos was popping, y'all. This was when polos was popping, right? So I had the polo with the big horse on it. I had a fitted hat on. I had my Tim's on, and they were like, "Yo, we going to church," because actually she got suspended too from VSU. She got suspended too, but I was back at VSU at this time, but she had got suspended, so she lived in Virginia Beach. She went back to Virginia Beach, and I would always go see her, right? So this is one of the days I went to see her during the weekend, I guess. And then we went to church on Sunday. She was like, "We going to church," and I'm like, "What?" I hadn't been to church. The only time I go to church is when I went to the country with my grandma and them, and they said they going to church or whatever, and I would go sometimes, right? Because I had stopped going to church since I was a kid. Like, they didn't make me go to church no more. So we ended up going to church, and I'm like, oh man, like people gonna be judging me, man. Like I'm looking so street, you know what I'm saying? And that day was crazy because I remember the whole time too. I'm like literally hoping that he don't call nobody to the altar. And guess what? He ended up calling people to the altar, y'all. So I'm chilling, and he's like, you know, he called people to the altar, and I'm looking like, yo, I ain't getting up. I am not getting up, right? Like I ain't getting up. She bugging if I'm getting. If she get up, I ain't getting up, right? And she ended up getting up. And I was like, oh my god. Her mom ended up getting up. I'm like, oh my god. She ended up grabbing me, and I ain't want to say no because it's gonna look funny, right? I don't want nobody say he got a demon in him. You know what I'm saying? So I got up. I got up and went to the altar, y'all. I went up to the altar, and I remember dude, right? He made everybody line up in front. Everybody lined up, and like I'm at the end. I'm at this end, right? But he goes this to this side. He goes all the way on the other side, right? So I'm like, yes, yes, okay, good. He not coming over here right now, right? So he ended up getting to me. Matter of fact, hold on. He going through everybody, right? And like I'm like, yo, this dude bugging, bro. Like I'm like, yo, he bugging because if he think I'm gonna fall out or any of that, he out his mind. Like I guarantee I'm not falling. I ain't doing none of that. Don't even try me, because I will make you look foolish in here, right? Like I'm dead serious. Because the way that I live is like you gotta be so real. Like you can't ever be fake. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not about to fake a thing for nobody. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, all these people faking, bro. Get out my face with this nonsense, right? Like, don't do that with me, right? I'm like, he about to be exposed if you try to think I'm gonna fall on the floor, right? Hold up. I'm like, yo, he gonna be exposed. Any pastor that do that nonsense thinking that I'm gonna fall out, bro, get out of here, bro. Don't do that, bro. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, not saying it's nonsense, but it's like, yo, bro, like I'm not that guy. Like, I'm not the guy in church. Even today, I am not the guy. Y'all hear me talk about God a lot, and y'all know that I love God so much, especially after this live, because now I can go talk about everything else I want to talk about after this testimony live. Um, like, I love God, right? Like, I love to talk about God, and I'm gonna get to that part too. But for me, I'm not the like on your knees on the ground crying type dude. Like, I'm the dude that's like this. In church, I'm like this. You probably would never know my relationship with God is so strong. You would never know how, how the things that I say on here like that just by looking at me in church. You would never know because I'm gonna be chilling. That's how I grew up. I grew up like, like you post up, you don't do too much. It's like you chilling, you know what I'm saying? Oh, Valerie, you back? Oh no, that was Chad that left. So I'll be up there chilling like this, like I'm chilling, man. That's how I be in church. Today, I'm still the same way, right? So if any pastor try to do that with me, it's like, it's not happening, bro. You feel what I'm saying? It's not, don't even try. So back then, just imagine me back then, like, I'm not doing nothing. So anyway, let's go back. We lined up, right? We lined up the pastor go that way. And, he talking to people, he touching people. Ain't nobody falling out, though. So he wasn't doing that. But in my mind, I'm like, bro, don't play with me, bro. Don't play with me, man, right? So he finally gets to me. He finally gets to me, right? This dude, when he get to me, he stand back. He like move back. And in my head, I'm like, come on, man, you ain't do that to nobody else. This is what I'm thinking to myself because I don't like attention. So I'm like, come on, bro. Like, why you gotta do all that? Like, you ain't back up for nobody else. Why you gotta back up for me? Why you gotta back up and look at me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, now you got everybody looking at me, man. Like, for real. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Like, you got everybody looking at me, right? And I'm over here like, I know my girl. I know this girl ain't been talking to the pastor, right? Like, and I know he ain't about to judge me or whatever it is, right? Notice how I'm thinking though. Like how I am. Like I got on Tim's in the church, fitted hat. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking real New York right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking real New York in the church, right? So the pastor started talking to me though. And he's like, I cannot remember everything. I really wish I could remember everything he said. Maybe God can help me or bring it back to my mind one day. But all I remember him saying is he was like, you like talking to people and helping them, don't you? And my eyes is like what? And he's like, you talk to people. You love to help them in situations. You love to help them with things they got going on. And he was like, and sometimes they don't listen to you, do they? Thank you, Dynasty. I appreciate you, Dynasty. So good to see a black man growing. Keep going. We love and support you. I appreciate that, Dynasty. Bless your heart. So the pastor, this is in like 2009, 2010, y'all. So I'm like, the pastor's like, so you love doing this for people and people love this about you and they continuously come to you for things, right? And he was like, and sometimes people don't listen to you, but then he was like, but then sometimes people do listen to you. And he said some other stuff, but everything he said about me was exactly true, right? And I'm like, I'm as he talking, I'm looking, I'm like, I know this girl ain't over here telling my business, so that's what I'm thinking to myself. Like, I know she ain't telling this pastor stuff about me, right? So then this is what he said. He said, look, this is what I'm gonna tell you. He was like, keep helping people, keep talking to people because God put it in you to bless so many people. I want you to know that. And I'm like, but he ain't say none of this to nobody else. And I'm like, yo, bro, I literally, since I was young, y'all, I literally helped so many people. Everybody always came to me about issues with relationships or issues that they had with other people. And I was always the one analyzing the situation and trying to figure it out, trying to figure out if it was them, trying to figure out if it was this, trying to figure out what is it we're not seeing. Can we look at, like, I was the analyzer for the reason why I'm in psychology, right? I didn't know this back then though. So all my life, people consistently came to me for the same thing. I'm always helping somebody, always talking to them. They always calling me for something, right? To help them with a situation or to help them to see something or to make a better decision. And it was all these people that would also get mad at me when I said things or when they didn't like something or when they wanted to do the opposite. And especially relationships, the women did not listen. I'm sorry. They didn't listen to me, right? Only a small amount of girls did at the time. But again, I'm in high school. Well, I'm in college at this time. But this happened, right? So I'm like, I ain't think nothing of it, right? I mean, I did, but I didn't. After that day, I was just like, and I guess it was on my mind just a little bit, but I didn't really think about it. So that year, though, well, 2010, I'm gonna say in 2010, guess what? I think that's when the Bible app came out. The Bible app, I think, or iPhone, something like that. Me and her ended up breaking up. Let me put that in there. We ended up breaking up, and I ended up. This is when I met my daughter's mom in 2010. Ended up meeting my daughter's mom 2010. We ended up getting iPhones and stuff, right? I remember that. That was the first time I got an iPhone. I kept saying I won't go and get one. Then I said, all right, I'll try it. Got an iPhone in 2010, and I had the Bible app. I don't know if it came on there or if I downloaded it, whatever it was. But I ended up getting the Bible app. I cannot remember why I got the Bible app, y'all. I cannot remember why I got the Bible app. But I remember getting the Bible app. Well, I know why I had the Bible app, but I can't remember what caused or drove me to get the app. If that makes sense. If it was some situation or somebody referenced it, I can't remember. But I remember when I got the Bible app, I started to go into the Bible app, right? In 2010, I remember this like it was yesterday. I started going into the Bible app, and I would read Bible plans. And the reason why I would read them is because I started to think about everything people would say about me, the bad things that people would say about me, or the bad things that I did, or the bad things people thought about me. Literally, it was bad things. And I would go in to the Bible plans because, back then it wasn't as much as it is now on the Bible plan. Literally, I could go, if I look at my phone, hold on, let me get my other phone. I'm gonna show y'all. Hold up. Remind me where we at. We at the Bible app in 2010 when I met my daughter's mom. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna get my other phone. Bible app 2010. Let me show y'all. I'm gonna show y'all the stuff I was looking at. So I got the Bible app 2010, y'all. Right? And I started to look at all these things. Hold up. My neck been bothering me. Okay, so I started to look up Bible plans about things that people had said about me or things that I guess I was going through. And all my plans should be here. Right? Hold up. Okay. It's updating. See, look at that, y'all. I'm letting y'all into my life, man. This is so people ain't gotta keep asking me this too. I can just point them straight back to this live. Hopefully YouTube saved this. They need to. They supposed to. What's going on with this thing? Sign in. Hold on, y'all. Okay. Hold on. Plans at. So, I don't know if y'all can see this. Hold up. So, let's go. Hold on. We're gonna go back. This 2022. This was like 2010, y'all. We're gonna keep going. Where we at? 2012. It's 2012. 2000. Okay, this was 2011, not 2010. I'm sorry. So it's 2011, if y'all can see, right? Look, I started looking up all these different things. Can y'all see it? Hold on. Can y'all see? Y'all see it? I'm 38 Dynasty. Y'all see this? Look, forgiveness, trust, anger, assurance, lying, attitude. I started looking up specific words. Forgiveness, wisdom, anger and hatred, forgiveness, bullying, courage. What is love? Looking up this stuff. Look, this is March 2011. Worry, relationships, dating, faith, temptation. All this in 2011, y'all. All this in 2011. So this wasn't 2010. This is, yeah, but this was when me and my daughter's mom got closer, which was 2011. So in 2011, I got the year messed up. I started looking up. I literally was looking up these specific words. Yeah, it was out. It came out in 2010, I think. So if y'all can see this, this is exact. Look at the years. This is when I started to look up this stuff, right? And there's a whole point behind this. Look, then we in 2012. Look, I didn't even know I was going this hard, to be honest. Wow, I was looking up all this stuff in 2012 too. Oh, I was. Now that I think, okay. Anyway, as y'all can see, I started to go to the Bible app, right, about everything that I was struggling with, everything that I wanted to learn about, everything that I thought I had an issue with, everything that somebody might have said about me. I started to look up those words and I started to read the Bible plans. And when I read when you read the Bible plans, it takes you to the Bible scriptures, right? And you got to read over the scriptures. So now I'm learning about God. Even though I went to church and all that, like I told y'all, I didn't care about it. I didn't think nothing about church. I don't remember a thing. I don't remember learning nothing, right? So I ain't have no relationship with God. Oh, here's something I forgot. Dang, I ain't put this in there. I got baptized when I was 14. So just so that y'all know, I got baptized when I was 14. And my grandma, I don't know why I didn't put this in my notes. And my grandma told me that she was praying for me as well. My grandma told me she was praying for me when she called me a hoodlum, hooligan, whatever it was she called me. Right? She had told me she was praying for me around that time. So me and my daughter's mom start talking all of that, and I start looking up these Bible plans in the Bible, and I started learning things about myself. I started to learn things about myself during this time, y'all, and I started to learn the way that people saw me wasn't actually true. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't actually true. It, like, stuff started falling off as I kept reading these Bible plans, and that year was when I first started to read. I think it was the Book of Psalms or Book of Proverbs. I didn't get through the whole book, but I started to read it during that time. When me and my daughter's mom was talking, I think we was talking. We weren't in a relationship at the time. So me and my daughter's mom, we together. Well, we wasn't together at the time. We ended up talking, and then we ended up clashing, having an issue, and then we went our separate ways. Then we met back because I graduated that year in 2011. I graduated because I had got suspended at VSU. So I graduated in 2011, and I ended up seeing her at the graduation. I ended up seeing my daughter's mom at the graduation, and she was mad at me. Literally, like, looked at me, had a little face at the graduation, and walked off. Like, so uh, I ended up talking to her, apologizing about whatever happened, all of that. And we ended up getting back together, talking, and then getting back together. So we got into a relationship. That relationship was not good for a lot of reasons. For myself, my trauma, her trauma, and just other things that happened that I didn't like that made the situation worse because of the type of man that I am. It made things worse, right? So not to include her, she go through whatever she went through, or her life is how it is. But me, I enhanced everything on my side. I ain't even gonna lie. Now, I did want to be with her. I did want to love her and all of these other things. But obviously, y'all, I have been through abandonment, felt neglect. I ain't never really felt love, even though I felt love probably from my grandfather, really. And when my dad was in my life, which wasn't that long. Like, I don't remember feeling love like that from my mom's back then. And other people. Also, the women, they wasn't affectionate and stuff like that. They wasn't that affectionate. They tough. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine how I'm feeling. Plus, I ain't got nobody to talk to. I even remember like thinking to myself one day, like, why my mom don't talk to me about stuff? Like, why she don't talk to me about nothing serious? And I think that was a part of it. So just imagine my abandonment, my lifestyle. Cause my daughter's mom, she ain't grow up how I grew up. She didn't grow up with the street mindset. How she can't understand me in so many ways. You know what I'm saying? From my life, she grew up with both of her parents. I ain't grow up with mine. You know what I'm saying? So it's total big difference on that side, right? Like I'm fiending for love, which I happen to know now, right? I was fiending for love, but I didn't know that at the time. So I was literally trying to get the love from her or any girl I was in a relationship with. I realized I was trying to get the love from them that I didn't get from my dad or my mom. Well, I'm gonna say from my mom because from my dad, I guess I was trying to get the love from the street, like the respect from boys and men and your family. You know what I'm saying? When the man ain't really in your life, even though my grandfather was there, I guess just because my biological father wasn't there, it caused me to chase other things, right? So um, that happened. Me and my daughter's mom have issues. Uh, Let me see and make sure I ain't skipping nothing real quick. No, you're talking. Let me stop. Right, well, graduation. Okay, now we about to get into the abstinence journey, y'all. So me and my daughter's mom, we broke up because that relationship wasn't good. Um, and we broke up in 2013. But in 2013, y'all, we broke up, and this is when I started to recognize certain things about me, right? Because if you think about it, yeah, I was trying to fill a void that I didn't even know about, Roof. That's crazy, right? But I learned this stuff later on, obviously, right? But we broke up 2013, and I started to realize a lot of things about me after we broke up. Now, notice I told y'all the things that I noticed about myself before I got in college, right? Like how I keep attracting the bad guys around me and I keep doing all this bad stuff, and it made me want to change my ways. Another thing that I wanted to change was I didn't want to be maybe I'm a lie. That's not true. I didn't want to be as flashy as I used to be. I was a real flashy dude in high school, like real flashy. I had to have the latest sneakers. Literally had a girl that liked me. I had to connect. She would put sneakers on hold for me and my cousins, and we'll pick them up on Friday when the sneaker ain't come out until Saturday, right? We'll be at the stores and the lines. I'm always trying to get the J's, and back then the J's was coming out. These was the when the J's was first coming out. So the sixes was out, the sevens weren't out yet at all. Nobody ever got a seven. Nobody knew what a seven looked like. So this is when Jordan creating the sneakers, right? So now you got a new pair of Jordans that you never seen before that's coming out. So now I was like that, like I was fiending in clothes and trying to be a fly guy. And it was literally, honestly, y'all, because I was chasing women, y'all. I am gonna keep it real. I wanted to be this type of guy. I wanted the attention. Not even the attention, to be honest. I wanted women. That was it. I wanted women, y'all. And I started to learn that stuff about me. So now let's fast forward to now. Me and my daughter's mom break up in 2013. And I noticed something that I started to do. I actually started to have sex immediately with other women, right? Like, okay, we broke up. So now, like, immediately. I remember we broke up because me and her was living together. I remember we broke up and I went into a hotel room. I went to a hotel because I was waiting to get an apartment, right? I had to wait like a month to get an apartment after we broke up. So I went into a hotel. I already had a girl just like that to come to the hotel. Matter of fact, a couple girls. I was like that. Boom. Like as soon as we broke up, I got girls. Immediately. Got girls, having sex, all of that. But notice, remember I told you I was in the Bible plan, right? And I had started reading my Bible, right? And while me and my daughter's mom was in a relationship before we broke up, I was trying to get closer to God. I was praying more. I was trying to change my ways. So when we broke up and I started to get back into this habit, I started to think something's wrong here. And when I look back at it, obviously it had to be God to help me see this, right? I couldn't see this on my own, but I noticed a pattern because when I used to get out of relationships in the past, I'll go immediately to other women, immediately trying to have sex, immediately trying to bag all these girls because that's how I grew up. I grew up like you the man if you could bag her and smash her. Literally, if you could have sex with her, you that dude. And if you could have sex with the girl who's the hardest to have sex with, meaning she don't give herself away like that, that means she like you. You that dude. You get respect because you with a girl, you got this girl that's basically a good girl, right? Because you get more respect, especially if you get with a girl or you wife a girl or make this girl your girlfriend and nobody had her, you get more respect for that, right? For real. This is how I grew up. So a lot of people think they hear about this. I literally grew up in this life. This is literally my life, right? So I went back to the same way of living because obviously that's my atmosphere that I grew up in. That's my mindset, right? Even in college, when you're in college, all you're trying to do is have sex with girls. That's literally how it was in college too. So we break up 2 years after I graduate from college. I immediately start having sex with girls again. And I'm like thinking to myself, like, yo, Rudy, something wrong, bro. Like, why? Literally, I'm thinking this stuff to myself, like, yo, why you keep having sex like this? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, you can't not have sex with a girl. Like, my mind started to go places. It's like, Rudy, why is this happening? Why you immediately do this? Why can't you stop? Because there was other things that I had stopped doing. So I'm thinking to myself, like, if you could stop that, you could stop this. This one thing is extremely hard for you, and nobody ever told you to stop, though. That's what I was thinking to myself. Nobody ever told you to stop having sex, right? So I'm thinking, and obviously I didn't realize this, right? I didn't realize it from reading the Bible. Nobody in my church ever said nothing about not having sex. Grandparents never said anything to me about having sex. Family, friends, not one person ever said anything to me about not having sex, yo. Right? Now my grand they didn't encourage it, but they still never said anything, right? So I'm getting closer to God and I'm like, I think I want to stop having sex, yo. Like I've been doing this all my life. Like you need to stop this because you strong. You like for one, Rudy, you already did this. Let's see what happens when you don't have sex. Literally, right? Because during that time, like I told you, I was trying to figure out like I wanted to be with my daughter's mom, right? Obviously, during that time, because I wanted my daughter to, I wanted to do the right thing. I wanted to learn to have a family and all that, right? Not saying I still love her or want to be with her. That's not the point. The point is my mindset wanted me to be faithful. So no matter who it was, I would have did that with them, right? But it didn't happen. So now my mind is like, why is this not happening? What is so hard, Rudy? What is something going like what's causing you not to do this right? Right? This is what's going on through my mind. As I'm reading the Bible, as I'm looking up this stuff, as I'm learning about forgiving and trusting and loving people and all these other things, right? I'm like, yo, something's wrong, man. So I was like, all right, God. Like it was on me strong. I was like, all right, God. I think you want me not to have sex, man. I said, you know what? I gotta do it. I'm gonna stop having sex. This is 2013, around August or October or something. It was one of those ox. I don't know. So it was either August or October, one of those months. 2013, the same year me and my daughter's mom broke up, before the end of the year. But at the time, y'all, I was talking to a girl. And I was having sex with this girl. But this girl's the best, one of the best girls I ever came across in my life. I ain't even gonna lie. I felt like she's one of the best women ever. She has such a beautiful heart. She was so kind. She was so understanding. Like, she would never fight with me, never argue. Like, she just listened. And when people did things, she would just let it go like it was nothing. And I'll be the person that's like, like, what you doing that for? Don't let nobody, what I'm saying? I just felt like she was so nice, but she was so beautiful too. Like, I just felt like she was one of the greatest women I ever been with or ever been around. And this girl was like in love with me, right? She was in love with me, and I had to stop talking to her. I had to stop talking to her, y'all, because, and a lot of people be like, why you didn't marry her? Why didn't you marry her? Like, what? You know what type of mindset I had, for one? I didn't have the mindset to marry someone. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have I had the street mindset. The street mindset was, and I didn't even know if I wanted to marry my daughter's mom. So just imagine that, right? I had the mindset of, I literally had told myself that any girl gotta wait 10 years before I marry her. That was literally my mindset. Like, you gotta wait 10 years. If y'all see, I got a video on that. If y'all look at my YouTube videos, I got a video that titled that. But I was literally thinking like, nah, yo, like, a girl gotta wait 10 years before I marry her. Because you gotta understand the mindset that I had, the people that I lived around. Nobody was thinking marriage. Everybody around me was like, F these girls. These girls ain't ish. I'm keeping it raw with y'all. This is literally what was said. These the men around me. The dudes with the street mindset, they was literally like, F her. She not this, girls ain't this, don't do this. And then y'all gotta understand, I was around all these guys and we was messing with all these girls, and I seen all these girls that had boyfriends cheating on their boyfriends with my cousins. You understand? Literally see them do it. And girls did it with me. You know how many I had beef. I had beef with dudes because of their ex-girls or they girl. Like, it's like in my mind was like, yo, I can't trust no girl, bro. Like, I ain't, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, plus another situation happened that caused those type of mindsets too, right? So for me to marry her, that was never on my mind. That was never on my mind to marry this girl. But what was on my mind was not having sex now. And what was on my mind is that I want to do this for God, but she wasn't really in a relationship with God like that. You feel me? She wasn't really in a relationship with God, y'all. She wasn't really in a relationship with God. I truly believe she has the heart of God in her, though. That girl she could definitely be a follower, a soldier, or maybe not a soldier, but she has the heart of a godly wife. She literally is a godly wife. But if she had a closer relationship with God, I don't know if she does or not now, but at the time, if she did, and if she wanted to not have sex for God too at the time, yeah, I would have been on it. But the thing was, she wasn't on the type of time that I was on, yo. I was like, nah, I gotta stop this. We can't have sex no more. We can't talk. We gotta end this, because it's gonna be hard if I'm not having sex and we didn't had sex and we around each other, I'm gonna feel weak. And if you're not stopping from having sex for God, how you gonna help me when I'm weak? You can't. You can't help me. I'm gonna feel weak and you're going to let me. She was super submissive. She's going to, and I didn't want that. Right? For one, I didn't want that blood on my hand. I didn't want that blood on my hand, because that would have made me feel extremely convicted, right, and bad. Two, if anything, I wanted a woman. If I would have had a woman at that time, but I probably wouldn't have chose to be with nobody at that time. But let's just say if I would have had a woman, then she would have to be a woman that's truly following God too, and choosing not to have sex as well, because then she will feel convicted. Then she can try to help me, but neither one of us was in that time. Like, we wasn't in that period of time. Obviously, I've learned about this abstaining thing, right? So we couldn't have helped each other anyway, because I was just about to do this and she never did it. How are we gonna help each other? How's she gonna help me? And how could I even help her? Right? Neither one of us had stopped having sex at all. We ain't have the strength. We ain't know how to do anything. So I had to get rid of her. She was a great girl, but I stopped talking to her. And she actually married now. So she ended up getting married, I guess, a few years later after that. So that man is blessed. I know that for a fact. He is definitely blessed to have her as his wife. But I ended up committing, or trying, or yeah, I'm gonna say saying that I commit to not having sex, right? And this is October or August 2013. So now, here go the abstinence journey, y'all. I'm starting the abstinence journey 2013. And I'm like, okay, God, I ain't gonna do this. I ain't gonna do this. I ain't gonna do this. Guess what? I'm going places. Guess what? A whole month go by, I slip up, have sex. Okay, I get back on. I get back on the horse. Another month go by, I slip up, have sex. So then now I'm just slipping, right? Because I don't know nothing about this. Remember, nobody ever said anything to me about this stuff. So I'm just like, all right. Now I'm convicted because I'm feeling bad because I said I ain't doing this no more. I ain't doing that. And now February 24th get here. I remember the day like it was yesterday. February 24th, 2014 gets here. I remember I was talking to this girl that went to VCU. Talking to this girl that went to VCU at the time. She was like a senior at VCU, y'all. Remember, I had graduated like two years before that. So she a senior at VCU. I'm messing with her. She pretty. She was pretty at the time. She ain't that pretty right now. Well, forgive me. But um, she was pretty. You know what I'm saying? And she was very aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Like sexually aggressive. So I was falling. I was falling. I remember this day, February 24th, 2014, and it was so hard. I mean, excuse me, it was so strong, so strongly on my heart. I'm like, yo, God, I can't do this. I can't do, literally, y'all, I'm in sin, about to have sex with this girl, actually doing a form of sex before the do, right? So I was doing the do before I was doing the do, right? If you get what I'm saying. And I'm literally feeling bad, and I'm just like, God, yo, I'm supposed to stop this. I'm supposed to stop. I'm supposed to stop. Like, I can't be doing this. Like, all I'm thinking about is God at this moment and what I said that I was going to do. And I'm like feeling so bad, like, yo, I got to stop this. Yo, like, what's so hard? And while the first part was happening, before it got to the second part, I said, yo, I can't do this. Like, I told her, I said, yo, I can't do this. While it's happening, I'm convicted. While it's happening, I'm thinking about God, y'all. Y'all can't tell me that ain't the Holy Spirit. And a lot of people think you can't think about God in your sin. That's a lie. That's a lie, right? Because I literally got pulled up out that situation, right? Because the Bible says he'll make a way out. So when you're feeling sinful or tempted, he'll make a way out. You just got to be able to get out. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to choose. So I'm literally in this thing, right? In the sin. In my mind, I'm literally just thinking like, God, God, God. And I was like, yo, we got to stop. Pushed her off me. And I'm like, yo, I got to go. She got mad. And I got up out of there. And that's when I stopped having sex. February 24th, 2014. I even got it in my phone. I put it in my phone, y'all. I said, I'm going to put this in my notepad because it's going to be here. Because, you know, when you switch your phone all the notes and stuff go in. So I'm like, okay, I'll add this. So time go. During this time, I'm like, all right, God. All right, God. And Rudy, you tries to say you didn't have a powerful testimony. I don't see it as that powerful though, Bree Bree. I appreciate that, Bree Bree. I know it's gonna help somebody, man. Plus, when people ask me, I could just point them to this anyway. But so after that, I'm over here trying to do everything. I'm like, I ain't talking to no more women. I'm literally I'm cutting people off. I'm cutting girls off in my phone, y'all. I ain't going to Bible studies at this time. I'm like, nope, I ain't going to no Bible study. If a girl gonna be, wherever a girl gonna be, I ain't going. I'm not going. I'm like, you bugging, right? I'm like, you bugging. I'm not going nowhere a girl is. Because the way that I was thinking, no matter if y'all think this is arrogant or not, God knows it ain't arrogant. It's wise. It's wise, right? The Bible says if your hand causes you to what? Cut it off, right? Right? If your eyes causes you do what? Gauge it out, right? So something is, wherever I'm going is causing me to, I'm cutting it off. These girls is causing me, I'm cutting them off, right? I'm deleting people. I'm telling them, yo, we can't talk no more. I'm like blocking. I'm doing everything, y'all. I don't think y'all understand. I was doing everything at this time. I'm like, nope. I'm that dude. I could do this. I ain't about to have sex with none of these girls, man. Right? Because in my mind, the way that I was thinking in my mind was, because I don't like when people consistently be like, well, you got self-control. If you don't got self-control, you shouldn't be. Man, if you don't shut up with that nonsense, you ain't never got to have self-control if you don't never put yourself in the situation. You don't got to use self-control because you ain't even close to it, right? So I'm trying to cut off everything at this time. I remember this girl hit me up. She was like, oh, we having Bible study. I was like, is girls gonna be there? Other girls? She was like, yeah. I was like, nope. Because my mind was thinking, if women are in a place, even if this don't happen, my mind was thinking there's a good possibility that one of these girls will start liking me and something could happen. Not to mention that the devil got a hit out on us. I didn't know this at the time. Obviously, I didn't know these things about how the enemy was. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know how he come after you. And I didn't know all this stuff yet. I'm learning, right? This 2013. I didn't just started reading my Bible like in 2011, right? Learning just a little bit of stuff. I'm heavy on certain things with God, just not on the abstinence. It's my first time with abstinence, right? So I know a lot of stuff within these 2 years, but I don't know much about that, right? So I'm over here. I'm like, all right, nope, I ain't going nowhere. All these girls be liking me when I go places. Nope, I ain't going nowhere. I'm chilling. My daughter with me all the time anyway, right? So it's like, nope, I'm Gucci. So obviously that ain't last long, right? Because we crave the opposite sex as well, like, the environment of femininity and masculinity. So a few months later, I'm doing this for a few months, and then the same girl hit me up about the Bible study, and she was like, we still having the Bible studies if you want to come. And then I'm just thinking to myself, well, maybe God want me to go to the Bible study, right? This girl keep asking me about the Bible study, and I'm like, all right, God, I'm gonna go. I was like, any guys there? She like, yeah, it's one guy. I'm like, all right, cool. Go to the Bible study. And the two girls that's there is beautiful. They beautiful, right? One of them I know. The other one, she beautiful. But they both in VCU. They both young in VCU, whatever. Right? So I ended up doing a lot of things with them, like having Bible studies, going to other Bible studies with churches, going to churches with them and stuff like that. Just doing a lot of stuff, hanging with them, talking a lot. We all became good friends and that. I ended up getting into a relationship with the one that I didn't know, right? I ended up getting a relationship with her. She was gorgeous. She was gorgeous, right? But anyway, ended up getting a relationship with her. And we ended up being in a relationship. Let me see if I'm skipping anything. Okay. Okay, so I ended up getting a relationship with her. And this is 2014. I think it's like August, June, July, something like that. We ended up getting in a relationship, and me and her was together for some years. No, not some years, for like a year. During that time, you know, I'm on fire for God at this time, right? We didn't have sex either, just to mention that. We didn't have sex. Now, we did do a lot of touchy feely stuff because, again, I'm still new to this abstinence stuff, right? So, getting in a relationship, I'm hype. I got me a godly woman. I got me a godly girl. We could go to church together. We could read books together. We could read the Bible plan together. We could read Bible. We could read our Bible together. We could go to Bible study together. Like this is all I'm thinking, right? Like we could grow. We could learn. You know what I'm saying? Because I was still the same guy. I like to learn just like I do now, right? And I like to help, right? And like to teach. Whatever I learn, I want you to learn. Whatever you learn, I want to learn too. I want us to learn together, right? This is I've always been like this. So we together, all of that, all of this, you know what I'm saying? And her situation wasn't like mine. I guess she had been dealing with certain things and like church hurt, right? So it would be very hard in our relationship in certain ways when I would talk about God, or even sometimes when I would go get my Bible, she would feel a way, about me getting my Bible because she felt like she had to do it too. Sorry, y'all, my neck bothering me. But that kind of bothered me, and along with y'all see how I am if you watch my videos, like how I be teaching in the videos, like I'm literally like this on the regular, like because this is before I even started making videos. I'm literally like this on the regular, always trying to help somebody, always trying to look at something, always trying to see something better. In a relationship, I'm doing the same thing. I'm trying to figure out things that we could do better, things that can help us grow, how we could understand each other, how we could communicate. My situation that affects you, your situation that affects me, trying to figure out what is it that you need, right? Trying to figure out what is it that affected you, or what in my life affects me that's causing this to be hard for, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm that type of person on the regular. Valerie said he is like this on the regular. I definitely am on a regular, right? So, and I always been like this, but that would affect her in a lot of ways. She didn't like it. And during that time, me and my daughter's mom had some issues. So I would like be upset and be trying to vent and communicate to her about certain things, and it would affect her. Like she would be thinking that I'm talking to her in certain ways, but I wasn't. I'm venting about what's going on that had nothing to do with her. But she would feel like or think that I'm speaking to her, but I really was coming to her to talk about the situation that had nothing to do with her, right? But she didn't know how to differentiate that. You feel what I'm saying? And that would cause a lot of issues because now I have nobody to go to about what's bothering me. I can't talk to her but I can't talk to her about what's bothering me, and then I couldn't talk to her about God, right? I couldn't be super passionate about God. So it's like, dang, I cannot be myself. Like I felt like, yo, I couldn't be myself. So I said, we gotta get out of this relationship. Now, she was not a bad girl at all. She had a good heart. She had a beautiful heart. I ain't even gonna lie. She had a good heart. But it was just that situation. I felt like we was on different areas, kind of like she was more of a baby in Christ than I was, right? Even though I was still young in the faith, I'm over here like on 1,000. She's probably like on 100. You know what I'm saying? So we was clashing in a lot of ways, and I was just like, yo, we gotta break up because you different than me, and I need to be how I am, and you need to be how you are, and we can't. So we ended up breaking up, and and again, we still never had sex. We didn't have sex in that relationship. So that ended. Um, Sorry, y'all. I feel like I got 2016 comes now. I'm still not having sex, y'all. I can't remember everything that happened in 2000. Yes, I do. Can I? Hold up. Well, 2016 come down, right? And it's a lot that I'm going through, I think, at the time because I was communicating with this girl and that didn't that didn't work out. So we had to stop talking and I guess that kind of bothered me too. But I'm still struggling. So even though I'm not having sex with people, right? I'm still struggling in my mind. Um, because I'm still trying to figure out how to do it while I'm doing it, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And 2016 gets here, all of that's still happening. And so now we get to June 2016. And in June 2016, I get back close with this girl that I know. And she's beautiful, beautiful girl, right? And we ended up, a matter of fact, I ended up invited to the crib so we could just talk. And I remember she was talking away, and I was like, we not having sex, right? Because she started flirting. So I'm like, we not having sex, right? And she was like, yeah, what you talking about? Boom, boom. Get to the house. It was not me that started this, y'all. Get to the crib, she on me hard. She on my body hard, y'all. You feel me? So it's one thing that I was weak to, and that's a girl that's aggressive, and she was aggressive. So we ended up having sex. So this was the first time I had sex since 2014, February 24th. I ended up falling, right? Now that time was hard because I actually ended up falling again. And I ended up falling again. And I ended up falling again and again and again and again because I think my mind went back to how it used to be. You feel me? And I always relate that situation to, when the Bible talks about the demon leaving and then leaving that space and then bringing what, seven more demons with it, or I forgot what it says, double, triple, something like that. But it bring more, right? It was kind of like a stronghold. It made it harder. So if y'all remember that scripture, somebody bring that one up. But it actually made it harder. So now that I fell, now I kept falling. Now women popping up again. The enemy got me, He caught me slipping hard. So I ended up slipping, having sex and consistently having sex again until December 2017. December 2017 is when I stopped again. But let's go back to when I was slipping, right? During that time when I was slipping, I'm mad at myself, but I'm also paying attention to myself, if that makes sense, right? Paying attention to myself like when I slip. So when I slip, I'm paying attention to how I feel. I'm paying attention to what caused me to do it. Like if I was mad at somebody, if I was sad, if I had issues with my mom or a family member or a friend, or, you know what I'm saying? If I felt lonely, I was paying attention to these things during that time. And a lot of that stuff was happening, right? I even noticed, I don't know if this was after I stopped. I can't remember when it was. I can't remember when it was. But anyway, during that time, I was paying close attention to myself, y'all. I was paying close attention to where I was. I was paying close attention to how girls talked to me through the text, how they acted towards me, how I felt, what caused me to even want to have sex. I was paying attention to how they was dressing. I was paying so much attention to myself when I kept falling, y'all. It was just so hard to get up. But when I finally, matter of fact, let me finish before I say when I finally stopped. The last girl that I was having sex with, this girl, I learned this thing. I paid close attention. I never paid attention to this before. But when I was with that girl, she was bad. Her body was bad. So just imagine my weakness. Her body was bad, right? And she just wanted to be cool at first, like wanted to be friends and all of that. She would hit me up asking me for help and everything she going with, she would always do that. And then she started to like me. And then that's when she wanted to do that. Notice I said she started to like me, right? And that's when she wanted to do that. And then we was having sex, and then I remember telling her like, "Yo, we cannot have sex no more. We can't have sex no more." She got mad at me. She got mad at me. She sent me a message, and first she said, she was like, "No," I said, "We can't have sex no more, and we can't talk no more." And then she was like, "Rudy, I understand this and that and this. We could still be friends though." I was like, "I didn't ask you." I'm like, "Yo, what?" Like she talking to me, like trying to make a suggestion, like we could what? I was like, "I ain't asked you. I'm telling you, we not talking no more. I'm not telling you or asking you, should we still be?" Right? I remember I was like, "Yo, this girl, I didn't ask her this. I'm telling her we not talking no more. I gotta stop." Right? I was like, "I gotta stop." That girl got so mad at me. She sent me a message. She was like, "I hate you, this and that and this." I remember one time she even pulled up to the crib. She pulled up to the crib and knocked on my door at like 10 at night, out of nowhere, right? But what I noticed about her was that during that time when we was having sex, y'all, I noticed I didn't care about anything that we would talk about. I only cared about her body. Like literally, I remember like, and I would sit there and think to myself, like, "Yo, this is bad." Like I don't care. Like all I care about is her body. You know how bad that was? When I tell you I was paying attention to everything that I was doing, I was like, all I care about is her body. Because her body is nice and it feels good, right? Which tells me that I'm using her body as a coping mechanism to make myself feel good for whatever it is that's driving me crazy, or it was for comfort. It was for nurture. It was for the feelings and all this other stuff that I never got, I guess, right? Or that I was yearning for at the time to make myself feel better. I literally remember saying to myself, like, "Yo, Rudy, you really don't care about nothing she got to say. She be over there talking to me, I don't even care." Like, well, okay. And I'm the person that you could talk to, right? But I really didn't care. Word, well, I'm keeping it real. Like this is real. Like I want people to know this is a real testimony, right? So I started to notice, like, yo, I really don't. All I care about is her body, and I even said, I'm like, "Rudy, like something's wrong. That is not good. That is bad. That is this is wrong." I was convicted. I was so convicted, yo. I felt so bad about what I was doing. Now, obviously, she didn't care, and she wanted to be with me. She wanted to be in a relationship, and I was just like, "Nah, I can't. I can't do this, man. Like, we can't do this. For one, this is not right. I don't like you like that. And all I basically want is your body. So we gotta stop talking. This is not right. This is wrong. And I have to stop having sex." Like it's kind of like I was able to see everything that I couldn't see before I slipped, but I got to see everything that caused me to slip when I was slipping. Now, again, I stopped December 2017. That's when I stopped. She was the last girl that I had sexual intercourse with, right? Last girl ever to this day. I ain't had sexual intercourse with no one but that girl since then, right? So I stopped having sex eventually again. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm going crazy. Cause not to mention, I had already started, I'm going hard with God now. Cause I forgot to add this too. In 2011, 2012, I had started posting about God on my social media, on my Instagram, Facebook, and all of that. Cause not my daughter's mom, my mom's husband used to send me Joel Osteen's Today's Words every day, right? I forgot to add this in. This is why I wanted to write notes down, but I forgot this part. But he had started to send me that, and I started to post them one day. I just read one, and I was like, wow, this is so good. This could help somebody else, right? So I started to post. This is what literally started me to posting about God, the Joel Osteen's Today's Word. If you look back in my social media, it could go all the way back to like 2012, 2011. If you consistently scroll all the way down, you will see, right? But I started doing that back then, and I got hard into my relationship with God and all of that, trying to give all the messages, trying to help people, especially when I was abstaining and all that other stuff. So by this time, I stopped having sex with her, and now I'm going crazy in my mind. Like, what are people gonna think of me, man? Excuse me. I'm like, yo, I look like a hypocrite now, right? I'm like, okay, man, you didn't, you was abstaining, and now, and even when I was having sex, I was still talking about God, right? But I wasn't talking about sex though. I wasn't talking about abstaining from sex though at the time, but still talking about God, because you still struggle, right? Even in your sin, you still need to call on God. How you gonna get out of it if you ain't calling on God? Feel what I'm saying? So after we stop having sex, my mind is going crazy, because obviously the devil wants you to feel bad and all that, right? So I'm like, what I'm gonna do, man? Ain't nobody gonna listen to me. And I had told somebody, and it was like, "No, Rudy, you can still talk about God." And I'm just like, "Yo, man, this is like, dang, like I feel like the biggest sucker. Like, I'm like, ain't nobody gonna listen to me no more, man. I feel like a fraud, right? And all my life, I could never be fake, right? Like, it's like you cannot be fake. How I grew up is like you can never be fake. Like, if you fake, or if you a fraud, or if you faking, you fronting, nobody gonna respect you at all. Like, everything you say, you have to be, or else nobody will listen or respect you. But guess what? That's God too. God don't like that fake stuff, right? You literally gotta be truthful, honest, faithful, all of that. So that's what was driving me crazy, is because like I always gotta be real. Now this make me feel like I'm a fake, like, and people not gonna respect me, and then I'm like, God, come on, man. I'm like, and I'm literally thinking like this. I'm like, God, you helped me out of the situations that I've been in before. I'm like, God, you told me that what the enemy meant for evil, you meant for good. I'm like, God, you used everything that I did bad in the past, and now you help me see it as good. Like, I can see, this is why I say my testimony, right? I could tell everybody everything I did, because it's what I did. It's the past. It's what got me here with God. Like, I could see the good. God used all of that for good. But the enemy saw all the bad. This is why, you would think you're gonna be this bad person, you're gonna end up here. But God switched it. I beat the odds, right? So while I'm thinking about like, ain't nobody gonna respect me, man, ain't nobody gonna listen to me, man, I'm over here sad. And I remember God saying that. God reminding me that, what the enemy meant for evil, he meant for good, right? He turns around everything, right? And I was like, God, you help me see the good in the things that seem bad. I was like, so God, help me see the good. And literally, when I tell you, I'm literally talking and praying to him about this, I'm like, God, help me to see the good in this. As crazy as that sound, I said, God, help me to see the good in this bad situation. I had sex. Well, literally, as many people would be afraid to talk to God about this, I ain't afraid to talk to God about nothing. Like nothing. Because I know that's exactly what he wants you to come to him for. No matter what you did, come to him. Right? So, and I'm over here proclaiming his name and shouting his name and speaking, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm screaming his name at the top of the mountain already. So I'm like, God, please help me see the good in this. And you know what he revealed to me? He said, Rudy, this is what he revealed to me. He said, Rudy, he said, before you had sex, right? No, excuse me, before you stopped having sex, this was your first time abstaining, and you stopped having sex for the first time. He said, and you could talk to people and help people like that. But he said, now you fell. And guess what? Other people fell. Other people did what you did. Now you can talk and help them with that. And I said, literally, this revelation came to me. I was like, that make perfect sense. I'm like, it's other people that did the same thing. There's other people who failed just like me. I'm like, I don't know if they fell as much as I did, but I was like, but I failed and now they fail. But they afraid. There's a lot of people who are afraid to talk about it. I ain't afraid because I remember God saying, the enemy don't want you to talk about that thing. This is why God helped me see the good in the bad. And God uses the good from the bad. And you even speak about the bad you did, that actually turns things good, right? So when God told me that, I was like, you're right. I can help mad. I could talk to mad people. I can speak about the thing that they afraid to talk about because I ain't afraid to talk about it. I'm like, who gonna say something to me? What you gonna do? You gonna be mad because I told the truth about myself? You gonna be mad because I kept it real? I'm like, you know how many people are afraid to do this and I ain't afraid? What you gonna do to me? I study the Bible all the time, and if you think anything different, then you don't understand and you ain't that close to God. You's a baby. That's literally what I said to myself. Like, you's a baby. Anybody that try to go against me on this, you're a baby and you don't understand because how many other people are struggling? You know how many people struggling in the church that scream God's name and they won't ever say that they slipped? But as soon as I say I slipped, now they could possibly have the courage to speak. You know what I'm saying? So now, God helped me see. This is why I consistently still talk about the abstinence journey. You know what I'm saying? This is why I still talk about what I went through. All right. So, all right, hold on. Let me get on track because we about to be over. I told y'all this testimony long, man. That's why I'm gonna do this one time. Hopefully, this saves on YouTube from StreamYard. Hopefully. But let me make sure where I'm at. All right. Uh, all right. So that is the part with the abstinence. This last part, this is about my purpose because it all goes back to this, right? This is literally the testimony. So as y'all can see, how my life was, right? My statistic. I was a statistic. If you looked at where I was born, what I was raised around, how my parents, like the stuff that happened in my life, my atmosphere, my environment, it was a statistic in my life. Like, you're gonna be dead or in jail. Literally, you're gonna be dead or in jail. That's how it was. So I literally beat the odds, y'all. And during that time, I was a specific way that I didn't know that I was. Right? Like I told you earlier, people would always come to me, communicate to me, ask me questions about their relationships, about their issues. They would always come to me. And I love to help them. I love to analyze the situation and figure out what's best, or what is it that they didn't see, or what is it that we could do. I was always willing to look at myself too and help them look at themselves rather than telling them, oh yeah, you should do that, and that person's like this, and no, it's their fault, and you should feel like you deserve. I wasn't saying that nonsense to them. I'm literally like, nope, we're gonna get through this. We're gonna see what it is. We're gonna see what caused this. What did you do, or you could have possibly did, that caused this thing to happen, right? No matter what you say, feel, whatever, let's figure this out. So people all my life kept coming to me. And hold on. This always happened in relationships and friendships. And throughout my life, a lot of people would say, yo, you should be this, you should do this, you should be a pastor, or you a preacher, you always helping people, you should do this, you should do that. Like telling me you should post this, you should do that, you should be a speaker, you should go and speak at places, you should, like, people always said that to me. And I would just ignore it, like, man, what you talking about, man? Get on my face, bro. What I look like? What I look like being a pastor? You bugging out. That's what I would say to them. Like, what I look like, bro? Stop it. Right? So I remember in 2000, I can't even remember. Yeah, 2016, maybe 2017. One of the girls that I was trying to get to know, our friend that we know, she's like popular on YouTube. She got hundreds of thousands of subscribers, but she was her best friend, and she was trying to get. She was on YouTube as well, and I'm trying to talk to her. You know, I think she looked good, trying to talk to her and all that. Well, one of her friends put me on. It was something like that, and the way that I was, she was having issues with her child's father, and I was consistently trying to help her with that, right? Like, no, well, maybe this and maybe that. You know, I'm trying to. I love for us to stay together and for us to work things out. Like, I don't. It's not just about feelings, as y'all can see. I want people to get together and stay together and work things out the way God wants us to do, like even through the hard situations. So I would do that with her. And then she was like, you know, and I would talk about God and all of this, and she would be like, you should do YouTube. Why are you not on YouTube? You could speak to so many people in this. And I was like, man, stop it. I said, I don't do that. I said that I don't like attention. I play the background, right? And she was like, no, you should do YouTube. And she consistently kept saying it. I would go see her and she'd say it all the time. And I'm like, all right, you know what? Maybe I'll do it. But at this time, I had still been posting on Instagram and Facebook. So if you look on my Instagram and Facebook, I was still posting from like 2012. It's like 2016, 2017, around this time. And I was like, all right, yo, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And eventually, I posted, if y'all look at my YouTube, I got old videos from like years ago, right? Those were my first videos. That's when I started. And I would post on YouTube and I would make clips for Instagram for the videos. But then I stopped because YouTube had an editor that they stopped using and I wasn't trying to pay for an editor. That's why I stopped. Editing app. So that happened. I started talking to another girl, right? I told y'all, but again, I'm not having sex at this time. And she sent me a book to my house out the blue. I think it was for like my birthday or something. I can't remember. I think it was my birthday. But she sent me a book. And the book was called Purpose Driven Life. What on earth are you here for? By Rick Warren. Right? I'm like, what is this, man? You know what I'm saying? What is this book? And she was like, yeah, it's a book, you know, you might want to read this and that and this. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I started to read it. And I'm like, yo, this book is dope. But then I stopped reading it for like some months, maybe a year, I don't know. Then I picked it back up, reading it again, y'all. I was like, God. And I think I actually picked it back up because I started to think about my purpose. Because remember, she sent that book out the blue. I ain't think about my purpose, none of that. But I think something was happening where I started to think about my purpose. And I remember that book she had got me and I hadn't finished reading it. And I picked the book back up and I started reading it and I was like, God, why is this man so smart? How does he know this? Why did you give him all this wisdom? Like, how does he know this stuff about people, bro? Like, I'm like so amazed by this book that I'm reading. Like, I could not stop it. And you know, it's supposed to be like a daily book. I wanted to keep reading it like it was a regular book, not like no daily book, right? So I read that book and I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about how I used to be. I learned so much about, remember, if we go back, I talked about that pastor and what he said to me, right? And how he said that I like to help people and how I need to speak to them, even if they don't listen, to keep doing it. And I noticed what Rick Warren said in that book. He was talking about how your purpose, when you figure out your purpose, or not even when you don't know your purpose, when you don't know your purpose, if you look at your life, people come to you about that specific thing. He was like, people will consistently bring that up about you because they think that's something that's great about you. They think it's a strength, right? They consistently come to you. You do it without any type of effort, right? It was like that thing that consistently keep popping up in your life and people consistently keep coming to you about it. They're drawn to you for that. He said it's because of what God has placed inside of you. And I remember thinking about it, and I'm like, well, I've been like this my entire life. And I'm like, well, I always do this. And I'm always like this. And I'm like, but people hate this about me. Then I was like, but people actually love this about me too. And then I started to think like, yo, the enemy, be trying to cover people gifts and purposes up through people treating them wrong, through people calling them names, through people hating the very thing that you love to do. I was like, the same thing that I love to do, I didn't even know that I love to do it. I did not know that, because that stuff, when people come to me and I'm trying to help them all the time, like, I love it. Like, when I tell you I love to try to figure something out, I love to try to figure out a situation or to help people in relationships or whatever they're thinking about something that's hard or about their life or, you know what I'm saying, about families or about God, about growing. Like, I love to figure out what is it that we can't see or what is it that person can't see, right? And if they can't see something, Rudy, how can you help them see it? How can you figure this out? And I love to look at myself to do that very same thing. And I'm like, people been coming to me all my life. And I'm like, I ain't even know this is something that I love to do, but I actually love to do it. When I tell you I love to do this, I post videos about God because I love this, like with a passion, like extreme passion. Like I would be stressed out, depressed if I couldn't do this. I don't think y'all know, like I would be going through it if I could not do this. And this is why I had to break up with that girl back in 2015, because I couldn't be myself. I couldn't talk about God. I couldn't help like I wanted to. I had to close it for her because of how she felt. And that had to do with her capacity, right? But it's like, nah, man. So, you know, that's how I became like this, y'all. Right? So God, you would never think from my life that I would ever be here. Not to mention, y'all, I went to college. A guy who's just like a guy like me, I went to college. I grew up around drug dealers, around street dudes. My dad was in the street. I was in the hood. I lived in the hood. I was around a whole bunch of hood guys, right? I sold drugs. I almost got caught 100 times, and I never got caught. How I never get caught? I never got, when I say never got caught. All these times had drugs on me, getting stopped by cops. All these situations, never. My man's right next to me. He do the same exact thing. I would literally think like, how this person the same way? They do the same thing, but I get out of it. And it's not like I said anything. It's just that I didn't get caught in the situation. Nothing happened. And I would think to myself, like my grandma said she was praying for me, y'all. I would think to myself, it ain't no way that I got out this situation. It's no way possible. And now, not to mention, y'all, nobody was telling me about this supernatural way of thinking, like, oh, God does these miracles. Like, I never thought about that. Nobody said any of this stuff to me. I would just sit back and think to myself sometimes, like, when the situation happened, like, dang, like, this really just happened. How did you get out of this? Ain't no way possible. And then there's other miracles that I told you I'll bring up another time. That situations happen, and it's like, I would be like, yo, bro, it's no way possible that you got out this. It's no way possible you ain't never been in handcuffs. It's no way possible you ain't never got locked up. You know what I'm saying? I had people threatening like they gonna try to kill me and stuff like that. There's no way possible you ain't go to jail. Matter of fact, I had the cops called on me twice. Just called on me. Not even like just a situation happened and the cops come, but cops called on me twice. One situation I got out of. The other situation, one situation I ran, I got up out of there before the cops came, and the other situation, I ain't run, but ain't nothing happened. But that's what happened with that. That's how I figured out my purpose, y'all. Um, Again, I went to college. I never took a SAT. I never took a GRE. I should have never went to college. I got kicked out of college. Went back to college, graduated. Now I got my master's, y'all. Not to say like this stuff really means so much towards that, towards the title, but it's just that the life we live, they say that people like me ain't gonna do none of that. Now I'm in my PhD, y'all. I'm in a PhD program. You feel me? Like a dude like me, that's from where I'm from. I talk how I talk. Got the mindset, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm in my PhD program now. My family, hey, you know what I'm saying? And forget the PhD. It's just that I literally love psychology. I literally love to learn people, pay attention to behavior. Like my main gift, one of my main gifts is discernment. You feel me? And that goes hand in hand with psychology because you have to dig to learn, to observe, to study, to measure, to figure out things. You literally have to analyze that thing to the bone. And I do this with no effort. Like I don't even have to work that hard to discern things because I love doing it. Like I love doing it. Y'all feel me? I guess I'm New York and Virginia now. I'm New York and Virginia, man. I'm city and I'm country now. But because I learned a lot coming to Virginia too. My grandfather told me a lot. But so yeah, y'all, that's basically the testimony, man. That's all I could think of right now. That's all I could think of right now. So y'all got any questions? Y'all got ask me any questions? You know, I probably ain't gonna get everybody question. If y'all want the question to be highlighted, y'all already know how YouTube do it with the super thanks and what is it, super stickers and all of that. So if y'all want, y'all could do that to highlight the message so I could get it. But let me read through some of these messages, y'all. So appreciative for this testimony, Rudy. Oh, let me. So appreciative for this testimony, Rudy. What a wealth of wisdom and knowledge. I appreciate that, Carolyn. Glad it helped y'all, man. Excellent live, Rudy, from Kim. Excellent live, Rudy. But I gotta finish my Bible study before bed. Please save to YouTube so I could finish up later this week. Love. Appreciate that too, Kim. Glad it blessed you. And definitely read your Bible before you go to bed. That's another thing. Y'all gonna notice that about me. I do it on TikTok a lot. When I'm on live, I tell everybody make sure they read their Bible before they go to sleep. Because if anybody talk to me at night, no matter who it is, I'm gonna tell them, gotta read your Bible. I don't care how they feel. I guarantee they're gonna feel convicted after I say it if they don't. Or they're gonna wake up in the morning feeling convicted. They're gonna be thinking about just reading the Bible. It's gonna pull on them hard. Nah, Key? Is that you, Key or Quay? No, I'm not in New York now. Just like God. Oh, I think I read that already. Happy New Year. Have the gifts of mercy and giving. Whew. Have the gift of mercy and giving, but I'm still having trouble about my purpose. Definitely ask God about your purpose too. That's good that you have the gift of mercy and giving. That shows me I could tell the type of heart you have. You got those gifts, but definitely ask God because when I started to ask about my purpose, that's when everything started to come about. That's when I went to the book. That's when I started to learn so much. I was watching videos on purpose. I was looking up articles about purpose. I was reading the Purpose Driven Life, right? And so I always tell people, make sure that you ask God, reveal to me my purpose, Lord. What am I here for? What did you create me for? I know I'm a specific way on purpose. You created me to be the answer to a problem, right? Like your son is the answer to a problem. So what am I here for, Lord? What do you need me to be here for, Lord? Because I know it's not just for a career. I know it's not just for a life. Excuse me, I said a life, a job, right? So what is it that you want me to do? What is it that I can't see about myself? Help me to see what I can't see about myself that blesses the world, right? Lord, reveal it to me, please. Help me to see it. So you definitely got to ask questions like that. How is your dating life now? Are you prepared for a wife? Do any of y'all think I'm prepared for a wife? I'm gonna ask y'all in the comments, those who know me a little bit. Do y'all think I'm prepared to be a husband? Let me ask y'all. For those who know me a little bit, y'all think I'm prepared to be a husband? Y'all think I'm prepared? Y'all think I'm marriage minded? Okay, Ruth, I appreciate the super. Is it super thanks, y'all? Is it super thanks? It's super something. But I appreciate that, Ruth. She says, I was always passionate about speaking to people about marriage. I was unequally yoked, and my marriage of 13 years just ended and hit me so hard. But that is my testimony, possibly part of my purpose. I definitely know that's a part of your testimony. That's a fact. Now, I can't say your purpose in general because you know your life, but I'm sure that's a part of your purpose. Yeah, you said a part. Yep, I would say that's a part of your purpose as well. Full, you would definitely have to ask God that, but I definitely can see that as well, especially for the amount of time. God definitely is going to use that for you to bless people, other marriages, people that's coming into relationships, people who are afraid of relationships, right? Everything that you learned, a super chat. Thank you, Valerie. Everything that you learned and everything that he's showing you through that. I guarantee that's definitely a part of your purpose, but I appreciate that, Ruth. I definitely agree with you. So, do y'all think that I'm marriage minded? She has to be super submissive. Oh yeah, yeah, she gotta definitely be submissive. You can't be with me, shorty, if you ain't submissive. I'm not that dude. So sorry to hear that, Ruth. Okay, hold up. You spoke of the. Hold up. You spoke of the kind of wife you want. You won't be on the market for. We gonna see. We gonna see because to be honest, you gotta be about that life to be with me, y'all. I be about that life to be with me. I don't play around. That's a fact. I am not like I'm really about everything I say. If y'all could tell, like I told y'all, like I don't really play that faking stuff and I'm not the type of dude that's like, oh, I love God. Oh my God, I love God and this and that and this. And I go to church and I read my Bible every day, not to mention I read my Bible every single day and night. And you think that I'm not gonna bring God into this? I am not this guy. I am not him. I'm really about everything I say. And God know that. So what I've learned, y'all, and I feel like this might have to be another live. Maybe we can talk about this on another live too. But no offense, ladies. No offense. Just please listen to what I'm about to say, right? Since I've been walking this walk, especially since I ain't been trying to have sex, even before I fell and after I fell, a lot of the women, they claim they want a godly man. But when they really see who I am and how I am, When they really see Rudy not trying to have sex, oh, hold up. When they really see Rudy going to turn that station because it's talking about sex on that song, when they really see, let's read our Bibles. When I really go to God and try to look at myself, take responsibility, accountability, when it's time to apologize, when it's time to be convicted, when I'm really about that life, when it's really God first. It ain't no talk over here. I don't just talk. Because where I'm from, if you say you're going to pull a trigger and you come around the block and I don't pull a trigger, ain't nobody going to respect nothing, right? If you say you're going to hit somebody or snuff him and you don't move your hand when he come around there, nobody going to respect you at all. So if I say I'm going to do something, you better believe I got to do it now. Even if I don't want to do it no more, guess what? I gotta do it now. Right? So if I really say like I don't really just talk about this, right? Like this is really real. It's really real in the field when it comes to God. If a girl wanna be with me, she really got it. Now, I have learned this because I have back in the past, my mind was, oh, she ain't about that life. She really can't be with me. But I have learned the man is the spiritual leader, and I cannot expect her to be just like me, right? She can't, I had to learn she can't be just like me, right? And I know she also going to be on an emotional roller coaster sometimes because remember, I study psychology, so I know how a man's mind and a woman's mind works. I know how the emotions work. I study women, so I understand how they are a little bit different than we are. So I also got to put that in there as well. But before, my mind would be thinking like, nope, it is what it is. She better be about that life. Don't come over here unless she playing, but don't come over here if she not playing. I mean, unless she about that life, right? But now I understand it's like she might not be where you at, but she still gotta be about that life. She might be in the Bible heavy, but that don't mean she won't be confused sometimes, or she won't allow her emotion to go the other way when your emotion ain't going that way, Rudy. When you on point, you know what I'm saying, towards something, but she might be a little, when she might slip because of her, you know what I'm saying? She may not know specific things. She may not know, not, you know what I'm saying? So I got to give a little grace. But she still got to understand it is what it is. And I ain't just about feelings, affection. It's about God. And we got to be friends too. This is really God. We really going to God. If you really mad at your friends and your family and all of that, we really going to think about how we need to handle this. If I really feel like smacking somebody in the face, I really need you to be like, baby, I understand how you feel. And if I was you, I would smack them too. But, what would Jesus do? Because, I'm going to say, what would Jesus do? Like, I'm going to God. I need a woman that's going to point me back. When I feel like going left, she helped me go back right. When I say I'm not doing something, I don't want a woman that's like, it's okay to do that. If I don't drink, because I don't drink, which I'm going to make a live about drinking too. Because us Christians think it's cool. Us Christians think it's okay. Oh, we going to study these scriptures because I already know the truth, right? But anyway, but if I say I ain't drinking and she's like, but it's a holiday. You can drink. I don't want no girl that's doing that. I don't want you to be the cause of me falling. If I say I'm not having sex and then you wear hardly nothing, if I say I'm not having sex and you wear hardly nothing, nah, shorty, I meant what I said and I said what I meant. I can't do that, baby girl. I have the journey. I know this journey of abstaining. I cannot be with a girl who's wearing revealing clothes like that, baby girl. I'm sorry. And we help each other. We are partners. It's not just about me and my self-control. We help each other just the same way I have to help you. God wants both of us to help each other. So if she's over here like, no, that's you. Peace, shorty. I'm really about this life. I'm really about this. And your emotion gonna come to it's over for you, baby girl. So if shorty not over here and she really about that life, if she not really about that life, you can't come over here. Cause God is my witness. I'm gonna push her to the side. He already know. You seem godly, not saying that you're not godly, but let's say you're struggling with the body part, you're struggling with how you dress. That's gonna cause me to struggle too, baby girl. So I'm sorry. You might have everything else, but you dressing like that, that's not cool for me. That's not cool for your godly friend or this man that could be a potential husband that's restraining himself, in which causes him to be faithful as well, because when you restrain yourself from sex, you become more faithful later on. I'm really about that life. So if shorty ain't really about that life, y'all, she can't come over here. But let me somebody did a super chat. Hold on. Oh, it shows it like this. Carolyn said, thank you so much for this amazing testimony. Continued blessings to you. Thank you, Carolyn. I truly appreciate you. Bless your heart. I love y'all, yo. I appreciate y'all. Okay. Y'all got a question. Remember, y'all, if y'all want me to see y'all messages so I don't miss them, y'all can send super chats or super sticker, whatever they are. Sorry, this is my first time doing this, so it's kind of hard. Question: in growing closer to God, did you go through a pruning, grieving process when leaving old environments and friends? Ooh, did I do a video on that? Maybe I need to do a video. I think I did put that in the video. So, grieving, pruning, yes, 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 yes. That's probably long, but I'm gonna make it short. Char. So hold on, let me keep that up there so I don't forget what she does. When growing closer to God, did you go through a pruning, grieving process when leaving old environments and friends? Yep. As y'all can see, as I told y'all, I was around like the street guys. I'm around people that's doing, selling drugs, that's smoking weed, that's having sex with all these different girls. I'm around dudes that, that's flashy, that got a lot of money, that, what else? Family members that, that drink a lot too. I don't know why I ain't saying drinking. People who drink a lot and go to strip clubs and in the club all the time. And again, y'all know I used to throw parties, so I was in the club all the time. But even though I was in the club, I wasn't a partier. Like I wasn't partying. I was the guy who was hardly partying. Right, I was there for the business, and I would always post up. I wasn't a dancing type dude, and I don't want all that attention and stuff like that. I literally did go to the club though to get girls and try to have sex with them too. That was a part of the things that I did as well. But again, I'm around these type of guys. So when I'm changing, they still doing this stuff. They still in the club. They still trying to have sex. They still trying to have sex with all these girls, right? What else? They still drinking crazy. So now when they calling me, even my I'm an alpha, y'all. I'm in the alpha fraternity. Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, right? So even my brothers, during that time, because I had just crossed during that time when I started getting closer to God. Before me and my daughter's mom broke up, that's when I crossed, right? So when I crossed, my brothers was hitting me up like, yo, you trying to go here? Because remember that same year, that's when I stopped having sex. So maybe it didn't start until 2014. Yeah, I don't think it started until 2014. So the next year, my brother said to me, you trying to go here? You trying to go to this club? We going to this bar. We about to go to Chicago. You trying to come to Chicago? We going to Miami. We going to where? What's another one? Las Vegas. We going to Jamaica. I'm like, nah, bro. I'm Gucci. I'm good. My cousins, they chilling, they smoking. They always smoking, drinking and all of that, and clubs and, you know what I'm saying, doing certain things. And they like, yo, you trying to go? I remember my brother that was in here on the live. My brother that was in here on the live earlier, when he came to VA, I think it was for my daughter's birthday, when she was like 5 or something like that. And we walking up the street, and we walked past the strip club, and he's like, yo, let's go to the strip club. I'm like, nah, bro, we ain't going to no strip club. Come on, man. And my girl cousin was with us too. And she was like, let's go. I'm like, y'all bugging, bro. Y'all already know I ain't going to no strip club, man. Stop it. Right? But they love me. They're my cousins and all that, and my brother. But at the same time, I can't do what they doing. Now, my friends, a lot of my friends, I was going through that process, right? And I couldn't go places that they was going. And guess what happened? They started to hit me up less. I would feel some way because they're not asking me to come to certain functions now. Even though I'm a deny it, right? I'm gonna deny certain places, but it's like, dang, yo, like y'all don't hit me up no more, man. But I didn't know what was going on at the time when this happened. So yeah, I went through that. I went through girls not wanting to talk to me when I told them I was abstaining from sex too. I went through girls not wanting to talk to me when I said I was abstaining from sex. Yeah, I'm a real brother. So yeah, Mike. but 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 I I wasn't I just it's like I had a different appetite, and I couldn't do those things no more. It made me feel bad. It made me feel convicted. It made me feel convicted. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, when I was going through a phase like, dang, yo, don't nobody hit me up no more, and I ain't going places no more. You know what I'm saying? Like it was crazy, y'all. Basically, I was in isolation. I was in the wilderness. That's what the Bible calls it, right? That's literally what it is. He's cleansing you from your sin, from your sinful life. We're gonna talk about it, Corey or Corey. She said, I know getting drunk is a sin, but drinking is too. See, here's the thing though. Drinking is not a sin, but drinking can cause you to sin. And here's another thing, because we're gonna have a live on this. I'm gonna definitely have I'm gonna make a video on this because I studied drinking in the Bible, literally did a whole study on it. And I'm gonna let people know this. I'm sorry. If y'all don't want to be on here, y'all might as well get off because y'all gonna feel convicted right now. Y'all about to feel convicted because I'm gonna reveal something that you may not know. If you don't want to hear this, get off because y'all gonna feel convicted, okay? If you want to, please hear it if you want the truth. Drinking is not a sin, but because drinking causes you to sin, God says stay away, right? And also, I dare you and I ask you to Google, what does the Bible say about strong drink? What does the Bible say about drinking parties? What does the Bible say about drinking? And watch what you see. Watch how many scriptures pop up. There's scriptures that tell you not to drink. There's scriptures that tell you that wine is a mocker, that strong drink is a brawler. Strong drink equals liquor. So the Bible tells you not to drink. It literally says verbatim to not drink strong drink. It also says to not go to drinking parties, literally. Now, here's the one that people don't understand. When you study drinking in the Bible, the only time God is okay with you drinking wine, which is a literal metaphor for something else, right? Is when it was in celebration of God. That's the only time you see it. When it was in celebration of God. How do you know this, Rudy? When Jesus turned water into wine, which actually means something else, because people just don't be understanding. Water means something else. Wine means something else too. But that was in a wedding. That was in a marriage. That's a celebration of a kingdom through God, right? When Jesus and them broke bread, right? The Last Supper, celebration, or a situation with God. Everything was included with God. So this is what people don't pay attention to. You think it's just okay to just drink, drink, drink. It's not. It's not. God is not okay with it. And there's many scriptures that tell us not to do it. If you study it, you can find it. If you truly study it, you can find it. Right? But I'm going to break this down because I'm going to help people understand. Because how you think the devil going to catch you slipping? You think drinking ain't easy? You think the devil can't catch you from you drinking? Not to mention, if you don't have sex, if you're abstaining and you drink alcohol, do you know you don't even have to be drunk to feel sensual? Drinking enhances your emotions. So the way that you think you feel, you actually start to, that feeling is enhanced, which causes and can be a great cause of you sinning. It's sin, it causes you to sin. It can cause you to sin. Not to mention, it rejects out of your body. It's a whole bunch of other stuff, y'all. But look up the scriptures. So when I do a study on it, y'all could literally see. Look up the scriptures. Like I told y'all, if y'all can, Google, what does the Bible say about drinking? Google, what does the Bible say about strong drink? Google, what does the Bible say about, what's the other one? What does the Bible say about drinking parties? And then all you got to look at Sodom and Gomorrah, man. There's a whole bunch of things. You could look in Timothy when he was talking to the deacons. Yeah, and he says to be sober-minded, all of these things. It's literally there. God would rather, let's say this, God would rather, he for one doesn't want you drinking liquor. He don't want you drinking liquor. That's what that word strong drink is in reference to liquor, beer, all of that. He don't want you drinking it. Now, God knows what it can cause. Yes. Literally, when you look up a lot of these issues in families and relationships and marriages, what happens when somebody's drunk or drinking? What happens? I'm not going to literally go into this, but I'm going to do a whole study. I'm going to do a video on it, and then I'm going to do a study on it because I keep saying I want people to see this. And I'm not doing it to just tell people not to do it. I want them to understand, because people just be like, well, the Bible says not to get drunk, but it don't say. I'm like, did you even study it? You keep saying this stuff, but did you study it? Do you even know how many scriptures are in the Bible about drinking and not drinking? You fighting it though. You want to keep drinking, but then tomorrow you wonder why you feel how you feel. You wonder why you keep falling. You wonder why you having these feelings and emotions. You wonder what, but you drinking though. And guess what? Here's another thing. If you drinking like the world, don't you look like the world? You look just like them. We look like them. Who gonna keep who strong when we weak? Excuse me. Who's gonna keep who strong in a situation when both of us are weak? This is why Paul said to be sober-minded so many times in the Bible. And obviously, it's not just talking about liquor, right? It's talking about worldly mindset. But if you're drinking, your mind is not in control right now. You cannot be sober-minded. Jesus said to be ready at all times. How you gonna be ready, homie? How, Sway? How you gonna be on point with this girl walking around with a low skirt on, a short skirt on, but you drinking? Are you in your right mind, my brother? Are you in your right mind, my sister? We're gonna do a discussion on this. We're gonna do a discussion on it. That's a fact. You better believe, y'all. I got a whole video coming out. How God stopped me from drinking. And I wasn't never really a drinker anyway. I wasn't a drinker like that anyway. But all this drinking causes you to sin and do a bunch of bad things. Why you want to do it for? For what? Causes you to do all of this stuff. Why would you do that? Because you know what I'm saying? Because you want to feel good, bro. Anyway, again, y'all, look up what the Bible says about drinking. Look up what the Bible says about strong drink. The word specifically strong drink. Look up what the Bible says about drinking parties. Put drinking parties in there. I'm trying to tell y'all, put these words in. I guarantee these specific words will pop up in these verses. Multiple. A lot of them, matter of fact. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm about to get off here, y'all, because I'm hungry and I got to jump in the shower and I got to read my Bible. So I hope this video blessed y'all. I can't go too much into these other type of discussions because this video is for the testimony. But y'all know I'm going to get to it, though. Just know I'm going to come back. Why abstinent? How do you truly refrain from self-pleasure? We're going to have to talk about that next time, on another time, chart, so I got to get off here. But I appreciate y'all. Hope this live was good. Hope it blessed y'all in the way that it needed to bless y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for listening to me. Sometimes I'll be thinking to myself, why people even listen to me? But it's for God, right? God do it. So thank y'all for being here, listening. I thank y'all for being on my channel. I thank y'all for being active in the community tab too. I thank all of y'all for coming to the channel for one, because I wouldn't be able to possibly even do these lives or get this message or get these messages out to as many people as I have if all of y'all haven't came over to the channel. While abstinent, how do you truly refrain from self-pleasure? I appreciate that, Jill, but I gotta go. I gotta get off here. I can't even do that. But I got a video on that though. I do got a video on I forgot the name of the video. But I think it's like how to start abstaining from sex, or I think I got another one. It's another video about abstaining from sex, and it teaches about self-control and what you could do in that video. But I'm gonna have another live on abstaining. So I'm gonna talk about it more on there. But I appreciate you, Jill. I appreciate all y'all. About to get out of here. Y'all make sure y'all open y'all Bible before y'all go to sleep, because that's what I'm gonna say every time I'm on these lives. Make sure y'all make sure y'all open up your Bible, whether it's and read, whether it's a Bible verse, whether it's a scripture, whether it's a story, whether it's a chapter. No, not a chapter. I don't suggest people read a chapter at night. I suggest you study. If you're reading a chapter in one night, especially this late, you're not really studying. I'm gonna keep it real. You gotta slow down, pump your brakes, study, open your Bible, look at the Greek, look at the Hebrew, read some articles, close your eyes, pray, ask God to reveal something. What else? Look up words in the dictionary. Do a whole bunch of other things. You gotta make sure you studying, man. You getting this food and you ain't just, say get some food and rest good. Oh, thank you, Ruth. But gotta make sure y'all studying. So let's make sure we open up that Bible and read something. It could be a Bible plan, it could be a devotional, whatever. Let's make sure we read something. It could be the Bible app, Ruth, because as long as you read a little something before you go to sleep, because that's how you practice reading every day. Because even if I don't feel like it, it's like, oh, I got to read something, right? And then the next day you get back on it. But then the days when you don't feel like it, you got to do something, no matter what it is. So if y'all can, read what you can, study what you can. But if you can't, read as much as you can, okay? I'm going to get at y'all. I love y'all, man. I hope y'all keep coming back. I hope this video saves on YouTube. Nah, Rudy, reading this chat and diagnosis. All right, y'all. Night.